Oh, Patrick, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
Yeah, good afternoon, Omar. I'm in Minnesota.
Okay, I'm in Pennsylvania already.
Oh,
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
guys. Uh, it's good to be back on the closing argument. Today is Monday, November 11th, 2024. Today is Veterans Day in the U.S. It's a holiday. It's a day where Americans remember the those who made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, for the peace and stability of this country. And this is why they are honored today, and all the veterans are honored on this day. So today, most people, like most of us, they don't work today, and some people visit that day. They have some programs at the military graves, cemetery, and so forth. But we want to use this occasion to pay homage to all the veterans, those who have worn the uniform, and um, and made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And
Yeah,
Facebook is saying that your names will not be shown because it's having some problems. They're only using you as Facebook user. So that's
no
why
problem.
I can't call people name. I can see your name, Patrick, but I'm talking about the viewers.
If
Uh,
you are asking,
yeah, the same Facebook user, Facebook user. I cannot see the names of people, the names. They say, so that's why they told me they just sent me a notification. The same Facebook user. But I hope they can get through it so we can recognize our people that are watching the show.
I think that would be important. Yep.
Right now, Facebook is saying, Facebook user, Facebook. I see they say, I'm following you from Ghana'sville. I know who's that. They say, somebody saying a woman died 2 days ago from a referral hospital in Lofa due to delay of transferring her on time.
Wow.
Somebody from Yoko Laton, Kolaha. Somebody's watching from Kolahun District in Lofa. They're watching this show live. Somebody watching from Sydney, Australia. Uh, I don't see the people. I say I'm watching from district number 9, Sinker from Matadi. I'm sorry, I can't see your name. Facebook is saying that they're calling you Facebook user. They're not showing your names. They say that they're having some problems. That's why I'm not calling your names. If you, I just seen your comments. Hopefully, they can resolve this so we can see our viewers and recognize them. Today we should be having the former national soccer team coach, one of I see G Gwen John Smith. Okay, you wrote your name. I see you. Um, Mr. James Salisa Diba. Most of those people who are born in the let's say in the 90s. I don't think they saw Diba play. So most of them all into this European soccer. But
Yeah.
the European soccer today, you see the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, all these guys. James Diba, George Weah, they all play the same soccer. It's that they play at the zenith, at the top of the league. In fact, to date, there are only George Weah, James Diba, Christopher Ray, I think Prince Day, I think Joe Nangbe are the few people that play top European league. Since then, we have not seen them. We never have reached to that point. And so, hopefully, one of these days we'll get there. But Patrick, welcome, and good to see you. Just tell us what's happening in Minnesota. What's happening at your end? How's the weather there? How's
So,
the how's the Veterans Days there?
as you said earlier, today is Veterans Day, and we are celebrating as any state around the U.S. And for me, I'm off work today, and I'm happy. There was a lot of memorials about veterans, those who gave their life to create safety and protect the image and legacy of the United States of America. In terms of the weather in Minnesota, our weather is pretty much wonderful today. You can get out there with just a jacket or a shirt, and we cannot ask for more. It is so beautiful out here. Taking into consideration in the month of November, I think we are doing great.
Great. I mean, on the side, I'm in Reading, Pennsylvania. Weather is nice too. Nice weather. What if I say? Yeah, Lofa, yeah, you can play some other see that stuff. Yeah, for those people who have not seen, but most Patrick, most of the young people, I don't know because when was the last time George Weah and Diba played for Lone Star when they retired?
I think I was in Mali as an official member of the Liberia national team delegation at the 2002 AFCON. It was when and actually Open resigned and retired from international football. Diba last game for Liberia was against Togo under then coach Kadara Kroma. So probably someone else who have gotten the opportunity to see Diba at the twilight of a career. But I think when they guys were in their proper form representing the homeland, I think a lot of kids never had that opportunity.
That's true. Yeah. Most of the young people, and that I was telling somebody the other day, one young who owned the European soccer, I was telling them, I said, he said, and you know, technology too. Nowadays, I think you only see snapshots of Diba and Weah performances when they play, but during their playing days, they didn't have technology wasn't advanced to this level where you can watch them, see highlights of them. I guess we still see Weah because Weah conquered the world soccer, so he became the world best, and so people still see highlights of his playing.
So I did Sunday last night. I actually put in Jim Silencer Diba name into Google search on YouTube, and a couple of videos pop up for him doing this in Monaco, doing this in Lyon, and doing this in Greece with Iraklis. So he scored a lot of beautiful goals. He did a lot of great things.
Do you have it?
It's on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and just put in Jim Silencer Diba. Those videos will pop up.
Oh, yeah. I thought you had it. Would I play some of it?
No, I just went to YouTube last night and just put in the name of YouTube and just talk about those videos. Yeah. Yeah. So I think another error that we made as a people, more especially the Liberian Football Association, to actually create or achieve for our former greats, that generation unborn will actually go to the LFA ACA or at the Ministry of Youth and Sports to actually get an insight of those guys, what they did before. So I think there's a time now we have to go around, speak to former veterans, create a database where we can have it safe at the ACA, at the Liberian Football Association, or at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I think that's important. Other countries around the world, actually, they do that. They benefit from that. It's a form of tourism where people come to the country and want to know the country's football history. I think Liberia can venture into that terrain.
Yeah, that's true.
Sul terreno di gioco per la Liberia, qui inquadrato George Weah, il giocatore donare la nazionale in seguito alle foto di rito prima di dare poi il calcio d'inizio. Alla terza partita, dopo 2 gare però nel gruppo 2, nel gruppo B, il Marocco si trova in testa. Intanto un tiro da lontano, un tiro tentato, inquadrato, Nwanko Kano, anche lui un'operazione al cuore, un'operazione che addirittura ha fatto preoccupare. Alternanza di immagini dopo un'azione nella quale Mali si è resa pericolosa in avanti. C'è ancora la Nigeria dalla parte opposta con il tentativo in destra con Kehleboe West, il tocco per il traversone in area di rigore. Attenzione, la possibilità per andare al tiro e la respinta del portiere. Olise ha provato dalla media distanza, ha tentato il tiro, lo stiamo per rivedere, la battuta a rete e si disimpegna là. Mentre sulla panchina nigeriana si iniziano a dare alcuni aria e naturalmente molto preoccupato il portiere liberiano Louis Crichton per la Liberia, che va a difendere con un numero esiguo di giocatori. La porta di Crichton, grandissima, l'abito alto, rivediamo il gran sinistro, davvero una gran sventola, ma pallone che però non ha inquadrato lo specchio della porta e dunque si deve stringere un po' di più. Liberia che ha trovato qualche spazio in più rispetto alla Nigeria. Attenzione, una posizione che è stata valutata sicuramente meglio dal collaboratore. Palla, qui rivediamo il tocco in profondità, rimane dubbia, quantomeno dubbia la posizione di Daye. Anche lui dunque milita nel campionato francese, sono diversi chiaramente i giocatori che militano nel campionato francese, su tutti però attenzione, il tiro in porta è ancora Crichton che va a respingere una gran sventola da fuori area, ma alimenta l'azione Kanu per la Nigeria. Poi il tiro tentato, piuttosto velletario questo tiro, attualmente invece il giocatore, attenzione con la Nigeria che si porta in avanti, Kanu però fermato. Dicevamo possiamo rivedere al replay la grande occasione, anche in questo caso per la Nigeria, una buona opportunità con Kanu, dunque per la Liberia, mette in mezzo il pallone con il ponte, poi Garguah si gira in piena area di rigore, spedisce alto, buono però il ponte di Frank Sitor che ha rimesso proprio sui piedi di Garguah, calciato verso la porta di Chorunmo. Abbiamo visto sulla destra il tocco centrale per Garguah che ha spazio davanti a sé con l'esterno, palla in verticale, gran giocata, l'uscita però di Chorunmo che blocca, evidente cambiato la posizione. Intanto proprio Daye è andato alla cross, abbiamo rivisto il replay, Daye che Yenai, Josephus Yenai, palla che anziché andare verso la porta si è impennata, ora l'opportunità in area di rigore per Kanu, c'è il calcio di rigore assegnato alla formazione nigeriana, rivediamo.
Yeah, okay. Look how you can move it. That was just
So,
yeah.
unfortunately, the game Peabody didn't play due to injury from the game against Algeria. Our game before this game, there was Liberia last game in the zone against Nigeria, and we played a game at the border point between Algeria and Mali, called the City Mopti. Yeah, it was in 2002.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm still waiting for our guest. He and I chatted. We talked earlier today, and I'm still waiting. I'm told he's not in the studio yet. He should be in the studio.
So you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about.
We are man, Robert Garguah coming studio, your football guy.
I love for him to come and take over this thing because he's the one who into this thing. Yeah, but you know, Patrick, one of the problems we encounter, and I wanted to ask Diba tonight. They didn't like since they left the scene, no one, because we are not seeing no player like Josh Weah and James Diba since they left the scene, and for Lone Star, and most of the guys that came after them, they don't play in the top European league. They play as soon as they play Shine LFA league one season, the next year then they're going to play for one of these clubs, one of these how to call it, say low rated Arab clubs there. Low clubs then. You can't even hear the name. You can't even know what they're playing. And that's been the problem people have been asking, you know. But what they should have done to have to make sure that they prepare the generation after them to say, well, we'll leave certain programs in place for them to bring them up to the standard, you know. And that one of the problems people face today. That's why in Liberia today, if you're in Liberia, you passing, you think all body focus on the European League. Everywhere you go, watching it. And for me personally, I'm one of those who I was an ardent soccer follower in Liberia back in the days. I used to follow all the games. Like I live in Dupo Road, so when Lone Star play or big games they play, I would go on a few there, and I saw great soccer from back in the days. You know, you and I know we saw great soccer. And, when the National League was on, you had teams like Barrow, RE, Oilers, and Joseph.
Very competitive.
MPA Anchors, the Young Eagles, and these. and it was serious game, no joke. And then also the African Cup Championship. We saw great African players that came to Liberia to play against IE, Barrow, Oilers, and so forth. They got
And Liberian clubs are doing great. And the African state, Liberian clubs are doing great, going farther and going deep into quarterfinals.
All won the quarterfinal one time, Oilers, right?
Yeah, other one the quarterfinal, they got eliminated by Guar from Kenya. I can remember. Peter Dao. Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah.
I know. And Patrick, back in the days, remember when one guy called Sekou Bamba, when the guy scored on Lone Star, he'll tell him.
Sekou Bamba from Africans, from the Africans.
Whenever he scored, he'll come and he'll tend to the stadium, the crowd, and throw number 10.
Yeah, he played the 8-nation tournament, for the Africans, So also, let me throw light onto your question.
Yeah.
Your question was, after the leg of Diba, the Weir, the Christopher Ray, Tomokoyo, when they departed the scene, there was a talent gap that was created. And I don't want to blame it on individual players. It was actually caused due to systemic failure, because we didn't create a developmental pathway for the younger generation of players. That when Diba were playing, Opon were playing, there should have been a system put in place where we're going to have a talent factory, where we got a youth program, a residential program, we are developing the players. So in case, eventually we know, in football is age-oriented. At certain age limit, a player will decline and fill out. You have to have a replacement. And that's why Liberia lacking. And that's why it is important. I spoke with the talent identification scheme director from the FA on my last podcast. There's a residential program that is about to be rolled out in 12 months. It is solely sponsored by FIFA Talent Development Scheme, headed by former Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger. He is the global chief for that program under FIFA. So I think our failure to produce the leg of Opon, the Diba, the Chris Farrell is systemic. It's systemic. I don't want to blame it on one person. I don't want to blame it on a group of players, because let's assume if there will be no Opon. So as a nation, can we produce a player? Yes, we have to do that. So the leg of Opon and the rest of that Weir generation came from the Samuel Doe regime, if you can remember. The late President Doe invested hugely into football. And we saw, I can remember Liberia went to Brazil, Liberia went to Malaysia. Those were all training tours. Liberia usually used to go to ball mines and camp there for months. Those were all developmental processes, although there was no structure to say a Kehleboe or land. But those guys were properly prepared to face the international scene. And what happened when the war broke up? Most of the guys went out, and they came back and ably represented Liberia. They took Liberia to 2 AFCONs. 96, they took out to South Africa. 2002, they took out to Mali. So we have to address the talent gaps through creating a residential program where we develop talent for future national teams. I think that way we drop the ball.
Exactly, and I mean, I give it to Samuel, the President Doe. President Doe, yeah, he see what they want to send the team to Morocco, right, and Brazil.
Brazil, yeah, it was under a regime. It was actually different invaders went to Morocco, Lone Star went to Brazil and Malaysia. And we have a lot of expatriate foreign players into the league. So that gave the league a different uptick internationally. You could see people are bringing different talent into the league. We have Guinean players, we have Ghanaian players, we have Ivorian players, we have Semelina all in the league. All the coaches were in the league. So those are combinations that create a formidable football program in the country. So we got to go back to the drawing board. That's important.
Well, I want to welcome Dr. Peabody and also Desmond Johnson. Call him Jallah Johnson. For him, he's a former national basketball star from Liberia. But he played for Barrow and the Lone Star. And also he's for the guest tonight, one of the guests, somebody who knows the guest very well tonight. So he knows a lot about him tonight. But Desmond, what happened with Diba? I tried that earlier today, and he was all set. But I don't know, still waiting on him and the guys in the studio say I'm not sure up yet. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because first of all, I'd like to say thanks for letting me be a part of the show tonight. It's a pleasure discussing, sports and chatting along with my friend, brother, Mr. James Alinsa Diba. As you all know, he's more like a friend, more of a brother to me. Peabody, good to see you too, my brother. And Patrick, okay, yeah. Look, I tried to call him just now, but it was not going through. It wasn't going through. I don't know what's going on. But I've been listening to you guys, and I would like to piggyback on what you guys said. Sports in Liberia has deteriorated, not only soccer, basketball as well. I'm from the background, unlike Salinsa, who grew up into the system, I started playing basketball from a very early age, at 8 years old from the YMCA, because back in the day, there were stages. You go to YMCA, you learn the fundamentals of basketball. You stay there for maybe 3-4 years, before, if you're that good, you get promoted to the second division. So that was the trend back in the day. So I listened to what you said. Kids who play soccer now or who's playing basketball right now, they just maybe, they don't have the fundamentals. They don't have this. Everybody has a talent. But you don't have the fundamental of the game. That's become a problem because it will reflect whenever you're on the court or on the soccer pitch. The game is all about strategy, using your mental capacity and all that. So for us, like Salinsa, we grew up in an era where we were taught certain things to play. All right. And as time went by, we made it from the third division, second division, first division, before making it to the national thing. You just couldn't just play one game today for a second division team and next minute to get promoted to the first division. That didn't work back in the days. You all know what I'm saying. You got to go through the process. You got to go through the stages, and until you prove or until your skills are sharpening up and you're willing to play in that division. And back in the days, we had the third, second, and the first. So, like my man said, Chair said, it is a process. We lost that. We don't have that. That's why sport is so way it's subpar, to say the least. For lack of a better word, it's subpar. And it's not only soccer; it's basketball, volleyball. You just name it. There's no foundation. Everybody can just go in the field and kick the ball and just start playing. And we need to go back to nurture young talent because Liberia is not short of talent. We got talented kids. Tomalin, if you notice now, the kids who play basketball are much taller now. And I think that because, I think that because, during the war, a lot of Nigerian people went back home and, the kids, they're just taller now. So the height is there, but the fundamentals is lacking. So that's something I wish James were here for us to discuss that. That's something we need to get back to. And like everything else in sports, it entails money, discipline, and a lot of commitment. And something I think we're not willing to invest in, and that is the problem.
Well, I only seen this guy name, right? Philip Cathy. He only name showing. Other people need just the Facebook user. I don't know why.
Okay. Who's Philip Cathy?
Yeah, I was having a problem with that because I had to go up and come back in, but it's still doing the same thing.
Yeah, but it's telling me only Philip Cathy name showing. But I know maybe on YouTube. But other people they just say Facebook user.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, just before we still waiting for the guests. Like I said, I talked 3 o'clock. The last time was in touch.
Okay.
But then I don't know what's happening, but
as usual, my friend has problem with time, so he might show up. Somebody, don't pretend. You a barrow man. You deep in the family. You know how we roll.
my man, time got problems. So it might pop up right now. You never know. Because we talked about this last Monday. I said, dude, it was, I'm willing to come on the show with you if you show up. So I got the link and I came on. Yeah, maybe he might show up. I've been calling all day. Pick up.
I remember.
Did he go to bed early?
I
I
know.
don't know, but back in the days, my man, when Peabody and Patrick and Desmond, back in the days in Liberia, when there's a game, Barrow, are you playing a game? Diva would lost. You'll not see the guy. You're not part of the game. You're not going. You'll be on camp, or he'll be on a beach training, doing a soft training, and everybody, Barrow will be worried. Say, hey, Diva, what Diva? But then on the eve of the game, you just show up. And I know, but I know that's another discussion for another time. But look forward to having him, right?
Yeah. That's why. Back in the days, I used to normally we would hang out before after the game and we'll be talking. I said, oh, DJ man, the skill already. One thing he always say, it's natural, man. It's good. I'm going to score before the game, and most of the time he would score. You know what I mean? So, the guy had a lot of talent, a lot of skills, and still like the highest goal scorer. I don't see anybody who are breaking that record. I think he has 50 goals.
Oh, he still got a record?
50 goals. I don't know anybody who scored more international goals than him. I stand to be corrected, but last time I checked, I think he was still the highest goal scorer, 50 goals.
The great Josh Weah?
No, Josh. We ain't got a lot of goals, man. But he, the two best were George Weah and Salinsa. You can't take that away. Look, I always say Salinsa is like a friend, brother, but George Weah, that dude was gifted, committed, and was so good at his craft. Focus, man. I mean, look, he was just best. That's why he was able to achieve all the things that he achieved. He was a legend on the soccer pitch. Jimmy, my man, but I must give it up to former president Weah. He was a beast, like we said, on the soccer pitch. I give it up to him. Yeah, in fact, James Salinsa and Diba and George Weah made soccer cool because prior to that, we especially me, when I go on the soccer pitch, I need to go on the soccer pitch, but when they started playing, and everybody wanted to go on the field to go see who's Salinsa, who's George Weah, and it made soccer something. So, I mean, it became at another level. Byron I or something to see. Those guys, bro, or something that people had never seen. I mean, I can say for my time, I was not around for one of those times, so I can speak to that. But those two guys changed soccer in Liberia with the likes of Kevin Sigbe, and the rest of the story. Those guys changed soccer, man.
Okay. Yep. I mean, they were the icon, and since then, nobody have ever come to that level. Realistically,
I know. Yeah.
Since the time of George Weah and James Salinsa, Diba, and we have not. Liberian football have not progressed since that time.
Let me go try and get into the guest again. Let me say point. You guys continue.
Liberian football have not progressed at all since then. I mean,
yeah,
even with the young people. In fact, soccer has declined significantly in Liberia. I mean, people are more fans of the European teams than even the Liberian team. I mean, the local league is very poor. You go there, you can't even. The games are not attractive. The traction is not there as it is with the European league. I mean, people wear jersey, would dress in European team jersey as compared to Liberia. Even the national team playing. I don't remember a time when I was in Liberia growing up where Lone Star was playing and the stadium was not overcrowded. These days, just half of the place is crowded, and I don't know, but Liberian soccer has declined either lack of interest in the athlete or no support. Technically, they don't have a lot of support. I don't think our football budget is even $500,000. I don't think it is. So how can
less than that.
Yeah, less than that, right? So how can
the last time I checked, it was 150,000 for football.
So then how can you build a vibrant soccer team when you when others are having millions as a budget for the soccer program, giving the team international exposure, taking them places to go and play, and you only have $150,000 as a national football budget for the entire country. That don't make sense to me, and I don't see our team going anywhere. We've had international coaches that we can't even afford to pay, and they'll either have to leave and file a lawsuit. So it's really shameful, I think, and I don't know, but it's really easy. I mean, to raise funds for the national team. You can say, you know what, I'm going to take $2 from all the civil servant salary a month, $1 a month to go to the national soccer team. Every civil servant, every other communities as well. The government of Liberia come out with a national that maybe we're going to take $1. Every funds go to the national soccer team for the next 12 months and see how much money you're going to raise, But it seems that even the leaders who run our football team don't have the vision like that to either move forward and things like that. So you expect miracles. There's not going to be miracle for the national team. But Patrick, come on, assistant.
Yeah, Peabody, thank you for expanding on those factors. A lot of people lack the understanding as it relates to how football is developed. People only see the team on a game day, but those other factors that actually prepare the team to perform well are neglected in Liberia, more especially the financial aspect. Football is cash intensive, regardless of the locality. As long as it's about football, you have to invest a lot of money. You have to be very intentional with your program. You have to have a design. What do you want to achieve? What's the time frame? Liberia failed to produce all these blueprints. So I made one comment the other day. My comment was like this: any success that Liberia will achieve in football will be accidental, because it will just happen. People will just go to some game, will win some game, people will be yelling in the street. But can you sustain? Because the process of winning in football is continuity. You have to have a laid down structure to keep winning. You may not win every game, but you will see the progression of your team. You will see the progression of your footballing program. You may lose game, but you know that we are heading somewhere. But when Liberia goes to game, you see nothing. The team is disjointed. Everybody doing what? You bring coach, you can't get a coach long-term program. You get a coach certain mandate, and the coach fails to qualify the team, your team is below par. So technically, giving a coach a mandate to qualify the team for the AFCON, that's a daunting task. So if that man fail, the man leave, and you fail to meet all your financial obligations, the man take it to cash. They quote for arbitration for sports. You pay money. So all the things, people have to be able to come together to say, hey, let's have a national sport or football symposium. Let's discuss the way forward. And national government have to be very intentional in investing in sports. But in this conversation, we're limited to football. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very, very, very true. This one come up, share. I mean, I will
Man, I can't agree more with Machine, dude. I ain't know that my man Machine. I see he got all that B on your face now. I just feel like getting now. I'm like, why? Is that we're getting old?
I know.
yeah. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, me too.
This man has he got genuine love for soccer and has the mindset from back in the day. So he's speaking from a real good background, and I agree with him 100%. Everything has to do. In fact, everything in life you want to achieve is going to cost. You got big companies in Liberia that attract millions of dollars every day. Why you can't make sports that part of the social and corporate responsibility to help submit sports? And like he said, we need to start from the academy level now, because we got to be dealing with the younger kids and you got to build them. And in Liberia, everybody expect quick result, but they're not willing to pay the work, to do the work. Like, I mean, when I went back to Liberia, man, I was surprised, right? I went to a setting and a couple of my friends were sitting down. And everybody all of a sudden, like, yelling, "Oh, European game." I said, "What you call European game? What's going on?" They said, Manchester better go play." I'm a Manchester fan, but I like, bro, why I care about Manchester? So that's why I saw the change. I said, Liberia's a different country now. People like they prefer watching foreign teams. You know, the Manchester of the world, Chelsea, Arsenal. Man, I don't blame them because the game is, our game right now is subpar. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we need to have a structure. We need to spend money. I think people tend to overload sports. Sport is a way of bringing people together. And look, if you are in sports or you playing sports, soccer, basketball, whatever, it keep for a young kid, it keep you away from vices. It keep you away from crime. You got the time you have to go practice. You got time to go commit crime. You got time to go do mischief. You will be focused and on your training because you want to be good. That's how
Yeah.
our mom did to us. This is why I'm saying. By the time we come home 6 o'clock, we tired, just eat and sleep. You tired for the day.
Yeah.
So we need to go back. The development is good. We want hospital, we want road, we want all the best thing in the world. But sports is integral in the growth of development for a country, and we need to invest more into that. People need to. I mean, the government should make sports a priority. Fortunately for me, this new government, I have a good rapport with the minister, proper Councillor Kehleboe Gongloe, and we've been discussing, one or two things that that can move the agenda in terms of sports. I mean, basketball, but sports in general, and he seems to be, trying to get in a direction. But as you said, Machine, it's cash intensive and we need to spend more money if we want to get results.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, is it you doing I'll piggyback to President Dole's time. I mean, President Dole's time, he had interest. He put interest in the soccer.
Sure.
And the spend. I mean, the Lone Star was considered one of Liberia's strongest teams. Africa's strongest team during the days. We saw the rise of George Weah. We saw the rise of a lot of Liberian players going to professional soccer. And President Weah was involved. And President Dole was involved. So if you have a leader who is not really involved into the game and all of that, because what is holding them back? What is holding them back from just coming out with a national sports budget or something in the house? The chairman on youth and sports, other can go there, come up with a plan on how we can fund our national sports, not only football, but I mean, football. Other countries, in these countries in Africa, spend at least $1 million when it comes to preparing their teams and other stuff, giving them the international exposure and all of that. Now, if you have, the other day our national team went to play in Equatorial Guinea. They had to pay for lift with the folks. They had to pay for lift to ride the plane to come back home. And all those things are demoralizing to the player. It killed the player. I mean, player flying, they can't get the money to go back. They're going to play game. You're not giving the allowance where they can at least go somewhere and shop after the game and say, I want to buy 1 or 2 items, go home, all those things. The last day before the game, the player would find out the fate of getting the plane ticket to try all those kind of things. It's very, very, our soccer program is a mess. I know President, we are trying. I remember talking to the president one time. He said a lot of the young people did not have much interest when it comes to the game. They didn't put in much. But how can you put in much when you don't have much? How can you put in when you don't have the logistical support and all of that to promote your team? Nothing's going to happen. So, yeah.
Well, I hope all is well with Diba because I have not heard from him. We talked at 3 o'clock with the last time we spoke, and he was excited to come on. And I don't know what's happening, but he should have gone to the studio. I think that's what I've been calling him, and we're not getting him. I hope all is well. I don't know what's happening. But we'll just hang up for few more minutes. If he doesn't come, we'll just move on to something else. But I hope he's okay. Because he and I spoke at 3 o'clock today, and he was all excited to come. And I don't know what's happening, but we haven't heard from him. So we just pray that all is well. But like you're talking about the soccer and so forth, guys, as we wait for him still. Uh, like Liberians love soccer. So what could be done instead of taking money from civil servant pay, you do a tax. You say on alcohol or tobacco. You say they call it post tax. You say okay, every cigarette or alcohol that you sell in this country, we take fasten from there for post tax, and you get millions of dollars from it, and you can put that money into the development of soccer, because and what I noticed in that country, you can be fighting war. You can be even during the war, when Liberians were, they had Greater Liberia and the other part of Liberia. When Lone Star were playing, the people will come from across the line. Everybody will come. They will be in one accord. That's so what I noticed in that country. Soccer unites the country. Yes. When Lone Star playing, the people will come from all walks of life to cheer the Lone Star to victory. And when we talk about the country is divided, just talk about say, well, organizing a game with Lone Star playing some games being played. You see everybody come with track on the field. So if you put tax on alcohol and tobacco, you get the money. Put into sports. Develop the long talents. I mean, many people don't know. I remember vividly, I was living in Firestone. My first time seeing George Weah play was for Barrow. Yes. The off-season match he played for Barrow at the time. In fact, that day, the Barrow people, the football business, when you play for the team and you can't produce. I said that day, off-season kill, George Weah, this tall, linky guy, black, he was playing. He said, "Oh, it's I put him on the man. We're gonna play this so. We're gonna be on the field so. Just let the man down, man. The man FEC. They make him play. He just put him on the man. We're gonna make a free so. We're gonna be so. Now the guy will be one of the greatest players in the world in soccer. We all knew. In Barrow, no one knew today. They were on the man. So the man sat down. They went to play in Basel. I think we are last match for them in Basel. They play in Basel and they put more in after the game. The listen told Joe Weah, say, my man, let go, yeah. And then Sitoli saw talent in this guy. He said, this guy you're looking at, so I see talent in him. And something in this guy that will develop. And Joe Weah was a hidden talent. And when they finally came to, I think he made a trip to Morocco, right? In Brazil, yeah. When we are key from Brazil.
He went to Brazil, yeah.
Key from Brazil. And when he said the Brazilians took the talent out of Weah, yes. And then he totally worked with him. And Joe Weah became the greatest South African player to this date. Because the award he won, nobody had won in Africa. He won that year. He conquered the world of 95. He won the world best, the European best, Africa best, and the Sport Journalist Award. He won all the award in 1 year. In fact, he would have won the second time had it not been that thing he had with that guy from Anakai.
From Puto.
Yes.
Jorge Costa.
Yeah. And the man said the man cost a man, so the man said but the robbing of that award. We are won it twice in a row, but that's the problem. But guys, this recent award that the Ballon d'Or, many people believe that they got it called Junior. Junior?
Yeah, Vanisha Juniors from Nigeria.
He should have gotten the award. But what you thinking about it? You think he should have gotten it? You would have watched extras of them.
So the process is very subjective. It's about voting process. So they got journalists from 100 top leagues around the world who actually cast their votes. And they got different metrics based on the games you play, your contribution as an individual, the successes of your team. So people they misunderstood the whole process until you can go to the metric and understand that FIFA had nothing to do with this. This whole process is about journalists and federation voting for who they believe is the best player in a calendar year. So, and historically, those awards have been having a lot of controversies. is that award would never be announced without a controversy. So I believe it's arguable. I must say, I thought it was Junior that was winning it. Again, it was about votes. So the journalists have the right to make their votes. So they opted for Roderick. So I want to chime in. I want to chime in with this. Football is a significant economic driver of a nation. I want to believe those in authority, those in national governance, do understand that football can drive the economy in a positive direction. The country me could be used as a case study. We all watch economy from all over the world. We see how people troop with loyalty to their county. And you see people sell replicas, businesses, local businesses are making money out of the whole program. Annually, Ministry of Youth and Sport, who is the chief organizer of the country, do generate huge proceeds, millions of Liberian dollars for that event. That should actually paint a picture that if we invest in all sports, we will gain revenue, we'll create employment, we'll create opportunity for people to pay tax, we'll create a lot of avenue that people will not be depending on national government for employment. Those are common things that we need to take into consideration. But everything is about politics in the whole country. Other sectors of society have been neglected because of the one national political situation. Now we got Senate, the lower house having a situation. Every other thing will be on heart, will be on politics. So until we can identify that there are a lot of important sectors of the society that can take the country to a recognizable state, we will continue to struggle. We just continue to struggle. There's no way about it, no way around that. We'll continue to struggle.
I mean, I can't agree with you more because I've said it time or number that we look at development in one sphere. We think development is in the bubble. It's like old roads and hospital and schools. Yeah, these are all important things, but that's just one aspect. Sports, entertainment, arts and culture is very integral for the growth and development of a country. And like you said, Machine, these people they just look at stuff one way and they don't want to invest. And like you said about the counter meet, look, I played counter meet. The first counter meet I played in 1987, right? That's the first time I see where officials were making more money than the players. I couldn't understand that. You ain't going to play nothing, but they get more money than us. That stuff didn't make sense to me. Let me tell you, I mean, that's why I got that stuff from Jordan. Let me just give a short story, right? I went for a practice or test for Maryland County, my own county. And then I didn't make the team because all my friends were on that squad. Like, I mean, you just name it, Jallah, Soiree, the late Soiree, all my friends. Then I felt I could make that team. But then the coach cut me. And I couldn't understand. I mean, that for some reason, he didn't like my style, but I don't know. But I was walking from Wellston, walking on Broad Street. I seen this coach, peace be to Agile, like A.B. Smith. He said, DJ, I know which country you're playing for. I said, no, I'm not playing. He said that's impossible. He said, but come play for Grand Crew. So my first time playing country meet, 87. I thought I was 16 or 17 years when I played in that country meet. And I saw that crowd and that organization, the way they organized basketball that back in the day. But that process, because from that game, it put me in the spotlight. And a lot of people started to know me from there, And I was just saying this to say that the country meet generate a lot of income. But it generates lots of income. Because, yeah. You gonna play basketball in the morning, afternoon we go to the You go to the ATS in the afternoon, Then by the end of the day, maybe they have another game, the SKD, and then but the stadium was packed. And people were collecting, the people were generating funds. But nowadays they collect funds after the game. They use the money. I don't know. I don't mismanage. I don't want to accuse anybody, but the money is not being. Yeah, it's not. They're not using towards the development of the game. You got counter meat T-shirts or jerseys, whatever. That should be sold. That's another way of generating money.
Yeah.
But we like what Machine say, we're not innovative. Our people don't think outside the box. They just got that one man, track mind. They just focus on the now and not long-term goal. They don't have short-term, medium-term, and long-term. When they counter meet from everything got to start from the beginning. You don't build up for somewhere. When they counter meet what a pact is done, then the next year they start all over. And it does not make sense. That's why we are where we are in every aspect of our dispensation. Liberia is like that. We're not far-sighted. People are selfish. People tend to rob. Athletes, people take athlete money, they eat athlete money. I've seen all that thing happen. I've experienced that. They don't respect the game, and you want result if you're not spending money, and it's sad. It's sad. It's so sad. I hope we could do better, man. We need people. We need thinkers. We need people who think outside the box. People who gonna do, what is necessary to promote the game. And I'm trying to make it part of my life mission to see what I can do towards the uplift of basketball.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah. I got something planned for next year, December. It's still in the works, but I'm working on something, collaborating with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Liberia Basketball Association. So we're still working on it, doing the logistics behind, but I hope it's just a way to boost the game. You know what I mean? See what I can give back, because I know what sports did for me. Sports opened a whole lot of doors for me. The basketball, or because of sport, maybe to meet president, maybe to meet ministers, and up to now that I still benefit from. So a lot of kids who grew up now, they don't have that opportunity. That door is not open for them. I got a lot of people, that helped me along the way, because you and I know, Machine, people don't make money from sports in Liberia, but the friendship you make along the way help you a whole lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why. So we want to change that trajectory, that kids playing this to earn a living wage, because there are two things you can get. If you got skills, you're an athlete, we want you to know that when you're an athlete, you don't make it to the pro, you got a solid education. You know what I mean?
Very much. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be like George Weah or Diba. But if you don't make it sports, you have the good education that you can live off. You know what? That's the kind of mindset we want. But there must be a financial pump into sports as a whole. In fact, everything, culture, art, we just need to focus, man, and see what we can do.
That have been a problem. We have not been focused. It has been years and years and years. Liberians, we are still where we at. We continue to do the same thing and expect to go. We don't start go out, try and win one game, then we all start, don't start back. But our players now have just been playing and winning games, probably based on luck. But I mean, they don't have the support. How you expect them to be one of the best teams? How you expect them to perform? How you expect them to go to the African Cup of Nations? Well, you don't have the support. Why you can't come up with national sports funds that will not be part of the budget? I expect the president to sit down and say, "Yo, today I'm having a special national food funds program to raise funds for the national team. I want to win $2 million for the national team." You invite other stockholder businesses in that country, other around, and Liberians, where you say, you know what, we'll take $2 from everybody pay, private, public sector, and we'll have a national fund drive, funds to raise funds for the national team or to raise funds for Liberia. The goal is $1 million. Don't tell me you can't raise $1 million down in that country to support your country soccer team.
I know. Yeah. Sponsorship. You got all the telephone company.
Yep.
You got all the logging company. You got Seller Metal. You got all these people.
Yeah.
You made a bit about a social purpose of responsibility.
Yeah.
They should do it. It's part of obligation. In fact, when they sign in the concession agreement, these are things that will be added in the NDA or the concession agreement. Look, part of your social will be sports. You got to get such and such amount. That alone will help because it takes the pressure off the government.
Yeah.
Because sports, basketball, football it should be autonomous. Government shouldn't have that too much control over it.
Yeah.
But the LFA, it mostly depend on the federation because on the ministry because they don't really get funding.
Yeah.
I mean, every now FIFA will throw here and there, but we need to have that kind of innovation, to push to push sports. And I agree with you, Peabody. Taxing every Liberian citizen for every paycheck, dollar, man. That's a lot of money. Open an escrow account. Nobody touching our money, and all the bet. I mean, that what we'll get, we want tickets. We buy tickets for ready for the player to fly. Nobody ain't gonna be nobody personal. You ain't gonna have access to that.
Yeah.
And you see, I hate to make the comparison, but to the America, but yeah, sports, the captain of a team is very important because major decision, the captain got to be a part of that decision. They're not just gonna let it go. No.
Yeah.
You need his input. That's why we don't do that in Africa, especially Liberia. They don't give the opportunity for the captains or the teams to be part of the major decision making, and that's been a problem because when a player knows what affects a player.
Yeah.
Until you find yourself in that position, you won't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a whole lot of stuff we need to do, man.
Yeah. But
Right?
I hope.
I'm sorry, Peabody.
Yeah, go ahead.
So to piggyback on what Dr. Peabody said about generating funds, people are attracted to football, to sports. 2 years ago, then Minister of Youth and Sport, Honorable D. Togar Wilson, I sat right in the same position on my platform and we raised 420 some more soccer balls for all the 15 political subdivisions in Liberia before the county meet. And those balls were delivered. Those balls were customized with all the county flags. Those balls were made in Pakistan. So a group of Liberians, both in the Americas, Europe, contributed to that process because it was about sports. It's about identity. People identify with their people, most especially when it's going for the positive cause. So you are right on that, Dr. Peabody. It's doable. We just have to have perfect organization and people with accountability, with integrity, because Liberia is being psychologically scarce in terms of corruption. So those are another factor we have to take into consideration. I just wanted to put that point through. Yep. I'm not hearing that, everybody.
I said we need to increase our sports budget. If we don't, we'll be right where 10, 15 years to come. We'll be right where we at. Because there's nothing, you think 100,000, 150,000 now these days can do anything? Nothing at all. They can't do nothing at all. So if we don't increase our sports budget, nothing will happen like Liberia soccer. And I hope that the Minister of Youth and Sports, the president of LFA, can all get together and say, look, let's have a meeting with the president. Let's ask the president to come up with something, or even the legislature, those in charge of sports, that come up with something, the national sports tax, where we can charge certain amount to increase our football to players, to give them exposure and all of that. That will really help us, and that will promote our soccer agenda in Liberia. So,
if we take $200 each over the top of the representative and the senator money, $200 each every month from that money, it will help too. That 50,000, we're taking 200 off the top, and just say that go towards soccer. Or they make laws. They make laws or make it mandatory that try. They always padding budget, so let it give enough money for everything, education, sports, and and health. Those are things we need to spend more money on. Look, America is great because they have people who think outside the box. The people know that if we invest into this, look, on Jerry, the Buss family will not give LeBron $50 million or $200 million because they love him. They know why they give LeBron $200 million. How many get at the back end? They getting $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's
That's how
marketing.
people think.
That's marketing. Yeah.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
You hear the kid got a man $75 million. The 16-year-old child, you got before you reach 20, you got $200 million.
Yeah.
But by the time you reach 20,
Yeah.
you know how much that team may order him?
Yeah.
But what people they don't think. They just look at the short thing. They see $100,000, $200,000, and they just get carried away. Just blow that. Look at that short thing. They're not thinking that if they invest more, everybody will benefit, and the cheese will be spread around. But they don't think. It's just so sad. And those in authority, especially sports officials benefit more than the athlete. Machine, am I wrong?
Yeah, in the dispensation of Liberia, I'll say yes.
In Liberia, they benefit more.
Yeah, because you go see player go in a trip, player will get 500,000. Official taking almost 2,000, 3,000, or 5,000.
Thank you.
You're just going there. You're not even doing the work. The people who actually involved with the process, the people getting less than you. And I'm being around where I see officials taking girlfriends on trips.
Oh,
yeah, it happened in Liberia. I'm always into that. Yeah,
that's common thing. It's so common.
But even the lawmakers, if they were to like what he said, each of them would give $200.
Off the top.
Directors at those different public corporations were to give the tax that each of them maybe deduct $5 for each of the employees, LPRZ, MPA, and all the other areas there. You know how much money you can raise $1 million, and that can be the budget for an entire year for our national team, or even who the national sports budget can get that. But those are interesting that you're not Liberians, you know, like bringing people on and doing things. They don't do it. They really don't.
Look,
lawmakers sit there and divide millions of dollars among themselves, putting fake things in the budget to cover fake stuff.
Yeah,
and then they expect miracle to happen. They put fixed money in the budget.
Look,
fake things, but they can't give you national team.
Peabody, while in Katura school, they had this strategy. Every time with Gallaudet, right? They would get each student a booklet, a ticket to care for the talent show, for the basketball game, and the football game. And guess what? The parents pay for it, whether you attend or not. That's why the school say benefit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The school say benefit. You go to the basketball game, or you go to the talent show, you go to the soccer game. The school not responsible, but guess what? You finish paying for that ticket. The money go to the school.
Yeah.
You know when you go don't start playing, you tell all the employees, say, look, everybody buy a ticket, I'll buy a ticket. Everybody go to the game. You know, but these small things, then the people don't look at. You got to have an innovative person who willing to work outside the norm. You know, it can't be business as usual. You got to come with something new and attract the people in the room. People say, oh, but this thing the guy talking makes sense. It got to be different. You can't do the same thing, expect different result. And that has been a problem. People are afraid to try something new because certain things basically because of corruption. You can't mission right now. You say mission will be technical or sports director for Lone Star football team. You sport director because that's a position the man capable of handling. The men are coming with American team, yeah.
Yeah.
But come on. That's how we do it here. How the people start.
Yeah.
But they say they want change, They say they want change, but you bring somebody who come with innovation and want to change the dynamic or the business as usual. They look at you different and say, oh, the DJ man come here, you want out of here, know he done. But gentlemen, everybody broke, everybody scrambling because you're not using your head.
Yeah.
You right now the Liberia Basketball Federation, Association, have formed a global partnership now that they're going to be coming outside from Liberia to source funding.
Yeah.
Creating partnership outside Liberia now.
Yeah.
You have to have, look, Sirleaf has taken advantage of the relationship with the NBA. Sirleaf, don't talk about Cote d'Ivoire, don't talk about Senegal, don't talk about Nigeria. Why was one Liberia?
Rwanda, you know Rwanda is benefiting from the NBA. People had a whole all-star game in Kigali. Everybody flew to Kigali. You know why it did to the people economy? You know how investor went to the country? People spend money. Hotel made money. Locals made money because they had a lot of international expatriates that went to the country. Those are tourism right there.
But Michi, look at the facilities that Paul Kagame put in Rwanda. So any NBA team here, top of the line.
Yeah. Up
the
there.
Yep. They like, we're going to spend a big team. Look, I went for this, how you might call it, the middle. I was invited to the middle school through the sweat equity program for middle school combine, to test the skills, fundamental teaching kids, right? Between middle school, from third grade, the whole middle school. And we went to the facility in San Antonio. And the facility, I was just looking at that. So I had the opportunity to chat with the manager of that facilities. I said, damn man, how much it costs to build such a thing? He said, I'm looking at the facility, dude. Ain't all that, but it's up to par. So I said, how much? You got like 4 different basketball court, the whole thing. So I said, guys, how much how much you spent to build a facility? He said, to be on roughly estimation with materials and everything, it came down maybe between 3.5, and all our equipment. So I said, wow. So I said, but I want something that is for my country in Africa, because I said, he said, but first of all, tropics. So you're not, first the thing he said, you will not need temperature control. You need no thermostat. There's no heat, you know what I mean? The regular heat or cold. He said, so that other aspect, you will take it away from there. So you cut the money down. So he said, let me tell you, so $2.5 million with all the other extra things, including, showers and, all the other equipment, maybe
and money now they can just pass around in Liberia for common distribution among themselves. Yeah. That money that the whole country will benefit from. People will just share that money among themselves.
The guy said he said because of the weather condition, 2.5 million. You just build, be for ventilation or come, you don't need no AC and nothing like that. He said, I'm telling you. He said, only the reason why we pay almost 3.5 million for that, because different weather control, all that kind of stuff, and all that kind of thing. I said, wow. And I just said, they put like 2.5 million, that's small money. A couple of guys can come with that money in Liberia. We all know them. They got that money sitting there. That's small money. But they don't know what to do. They're not innovative. Money bring money. Money always bring money. You spend, you get more. If I had that kind of money, I'd be the best gym in probably Liberia. You give me a chance, I'll add soccer fee that I can carry at least 25,000 or maybe 50,000 people to watch the game. I ain't got to work no more in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Because the facilities give people encouragement to go. It's nice. It's a well-maintained. People won't go to a better city. They can sit down. Everybody got their own seat. You saw the difference in me right now. People go to the stadium. Everybody can sit in their own seat. That comfortability is there. But we don't think about outside the box. We're just comfortable with being corrupt. Everybody is about me. And the young children are coming up. Look, you ever said no, we will play. Everybody go around play football. This time, 16-year-old gotta be worried about how he would pay his school fee, how a man would eat, and how they would pay for light. We grow up. We didn't have time for how we eat it. It's not our responsibility how we eat. We didn't know how we eat it. How we go to school, not our responsibility. We don't think about that.
Yeah.
Everybody was thinking about our food. We eat.
Yeah.
We pay our school fee.
Yeah.
We go play football. Kind of almost go shower.
Yeah.
The kids don't have that. And they're sad. The kids don't have that.
But Desmond, look at that. Look at that. Look at that sport commission. Look at that place on Broad Street.
Yeah.
You know, look at that sport commission on Broad Street.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Who's that beautiful lady?
Yeah. That boy, and he chased.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Chris? It's
Another baller, you know, play soccer like, hey, that soccer man there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right,
You know?
Chief. All right. I'll see you later, okay?
Look at but look at that.
Sport commission?
On Broad
Oh,
Street.
yeah.
Are we ready? It's like, bro, are we ready for anything? I mean, we always find ourselves in the worst situation. The worst, because we put ourselves there. A country. Look at our whole basketball gymnasium.
Look,
You know, we always find ourselves in the worst.
I tell you a story. You see why they got concrete there now? That's why someday I can go to bed and know that I did my part. The league, I play in Ivory Coast. You said no. The league ended in Ivory Coast and we're on vacation. And I told Fano and the rest of the guys, I said, we've been all like, bro, wow, let's take Jallah back home. We went back home. We had a tournament. The people were playing the benches. They had wooden benches over there in Sport Commission. We raised money for that concrete seat you see at the YMCA that Sport Commission, we started. We raised almost 15,000 for charity against 60,000 for the city to make that whole all the city capacity to be concrete. We started that program. Just few guys. Imagine if the government had supported that thing all along. The people would be sitting on that wooden bench forever. We changed it. They got concrete now. People sitting on YMCA. We started that initiative. So what happens if we invest more? What happens if we look at sports from a different trajectory and say, this is a money-making thing that everybody can benefit from? They just hosted African basketball in Ghana, the basketball festival. In Ghana, when we were playing, Ghana was nowhere in basketball. Right now, Ghana, you can't even mess with them.
Yeah.
They just hosted the African basketball festival in Ghana.
Yeah. They even hosted an all-African game in Ghana. Yeah.
Facilities. Yeah, machine, yeah, facilities. The people thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
The people know it's a long-term investment. Everybody will eat. The hotels, the local economy benefits. Everybody benefits. It's everybody giving money, going back. Everybody benefiting. You eat. The fair share is going around. People need hotel accommodation when they go. They will go there.
And that's what I want us to do is, I don't know what the guys in the studio, I want us to take some call. Let's talk about
let's do that,
Let's take some call. Let's talk about the Liberian football now, and let people give their view, and then we'll switch.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
So Myean, if you guys in studio, can we take some calls? Can you guys come on? Let's take some calls in studio, and then we'll switch to the present political wahala that's taking place in Liberia right now.
Oh my God, so that's another one.
So you guys can hang on. Let's talk politics.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Myean, let's take one or two calls. Let's talk about the state of the Liberian football these days. You know, lots of support. You know, anybody listening want to call in, they can call in. But how is Liberian football doing? You know, why is it our team is not getting anywhere? Why is it that we are try, our team is not getting anywhere? Do you think it's the player or it's the authority supporting them or not? You know, so let's take some calls, and then from there we'll get into the next topic.
Okay, so thank you. You can put your calls in 0777 2859661. If you want to call, you can put your calls in 0777 2859661 to be a part of the closing argument tonight on Truth Radio. Is the radio service of the radio service of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated.
Hey, buddy, give me 5 minutes mission adjustment. I will come back on.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, all right. So 0777 2859661. We have someone online. Hello, caller. You getting a caller?
That person might be low.
Okay, let's try to get another person. 077785961. Also, we want to call on WhatsApp +231 077785961 to be a part. So the number is already on the screen. If you want to call us on WhatsApp, you can dial +231 077785961. So Peabody, you can go ahead until we get calls.
All right. So guys, we're talking about the state of the soccer in Liberia, in Monrovia. We have seen a significant decline in Liberian soccer, football, a very, very high decline. The players, the motivation, the support are not there, and we some are saying the player are not motivated. Some are saying that the not government not giving them the support they need, and But since we've been growing up as young people, we have not seen, as a young man when I was growing up, I believe with Honor President Samuel Kehleboe that I already saw Liberian football being supported, Liberian football having the kind of support that it needed. But since then, nobody have rise up to the level of James Salins Hadiba, George Manenwia. We have not seen that. Since their day, we have not seen anything up to that level. So the support are not there. Can you imagine your whole country budget for soccer or even sports is $150,000? What do you expect them to go? What do you expect to happen? You expect them to perform miracle or so? You expect them to perform miracle or expect them to perform better when they don't even have the kind of support they need. So Myean, I want you to come up and just talk about, you are into soccer and you know the budget. Let's talk about it. I hope I can reach one of us, Togar Wilson, and even try to get him on the phone.
Yeah, that would be great though. So I think the financial issue that is engulfing our football is real. A couple of weeks ago, before Labrador travel, Labrador FA was indebted to an airline that they actually credited tickets to fly the team because, as it was stated, the government told the Liberian Football Association that budgets was not ready for education, so if they could gather funds from us, where you're going to do the reimbursement. I don't know whether the been settled, but that was the case at the time. But Dr. Peabody, I want to say that I'm hopeful because I'm a man who try to be very positive in terms of every situation that happens. Labrador is currently one of the beneficiaries of the FIFA Talent Developmental Scheme. Labrador will be rolling out a residential program in 12 months. I spoke to the director. FIFA will send expert coaches that will work along with the Liberian Football Association and their developmental team to see that the kids that will be stationed at the Georgia Technical Center in Kehleboe. To be precise, the numbers will be 32 kids from the onset of the program. And as the program goes on, there will be some addition of players, and sometimes there will be draft based on performance. So my question to him was, FIFA would not be in your program for its entirety. There will be a time that FIFA will say, you know what, we have developed you at that level. It is time now to take over as a national association and as a national government. So what would be the role of the Liberian government? That's the time Liberian government will say, you know what, at this time or at this junction, we're going to take over financially to make sure that the program will continue. Because any success that is not sustained is another form of failure. So continuity and the direct investment and the manpower education. Manpower education in Liberia is very key to our football development. Coaches are to be held liable to, in some instances, and come to player performances. The administrative arm will have their own share responsibility and do at all levels of football. So the whole thing is holistic. The whole football decline in Liberia is holistic. We start from the top. Government inability to pay attention to invest in football is the first factor that we need to address. If government, who is the parent body of all sporting activity in the country, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is the government representative of all sporting bodies or all sporting activities in the country. So if your son, Dr. Peabody, you say, Patrick or Coach Machine, I'm sending you to school. I'm going to provide your tuition. I'm going to provide your logistics, everything. If you want to be on boarding school, I'm going to pay. The only thing you're going to be demanding from me is good grades, right? So that's what the Ministry of Youth and Sports should be doing. Provide all the financial support, the logistical support, and emotional, and any support that the team stand to be in need of, and see why the result can come. Then you can have people be liable. People have to be responsible. I think we should begin from that end. I think that would be my first step.
I think that's a very, very salient point that you made, and I hope. But you seem to have a lot of hope in Liberia. Why you have that kind of hope? Why do you think things are going to change in that country, where everything been over 20 or more years, nothing had really changed in Liberia? What do you think? You know, what do you think something's going to change? We saw exactly. Somebody just wrote fix electronics road. Let me just see if I can highlight his comment here. Yeah, no, that's not it. I can hide this. Fix electronic road about they recently appointed. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, I think I lost that part. But they recently appointed a Senegalese to be the sports ambassador.
Okay, yep.
Sports ambassador in Liberia. I don't know how much this guy can bring to the Liberian football. So I don't know what he can bring. What he will bring to the Liberian football. But we have not seen nothing yet. We are not seeing any headway, anything that will bring our national team together. We have not seen anything like this yet. You know, in fact, yet there he go. He said Ambassador Kibi, the Senegalese broad vice presidential advisor Madila Cooper. You know, he's the sports ambassador for that country. But there's nothing he's done. He has not shown all. I think. What do you think the government should have taken the lead? So you know, we're gonna mix this into politics. So let's get.
I think so. I think you dragging me into politics.
Yeah, you know. Do you think President Barker even have the willpower? Is even capable of bringing our soccer program back together?
I think he is the chief patron of sports.
Right.
So he sits at the top of the pyramid when it comes to our footballing structure or our sporting structure. So he should take the lead. So let me dive into the appointment of the Senegalese Kehleboe as the sport ambassador. I think that was presidential appointment. And I don't understand or I don't know the merits and demerit of his appointment. I don't know what is responsibility, what is the duty, and what positive things he brings to bear on our sporting sector until he can come and tell us that this is XYZ that I'm being charged or I've been given the authority to produce for Liberian sports or in football. Until then, I would think that there are more qualified Liberians who can hold those positions. And I think we got qualified Liberians, people who can do the job. So we have to learn to believe in our people. And I'm one of the strong advocates of Liberian, training Liberian into a positive place. So we're going to look at coaching. I believe that Liberian coaches to be well paid, well taken care of, and I believe they understand the culture and the psychological of Liberian players. So we can use our own people. So if you bring an expert In professionalism, when an expert comes to a place, you have to see the change. You have to see the change that the expert brings to the table. So for him, Kehleboe, I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing until we can know his role and the duty. I'm saying a question that he answers. I think it's serious. It's serious. I want to believe that it's serious. So I don't know how the position came about, because if your wife is the political advisor to the president, I think that nepotism. So those are conversations that need to be held. Because if we criticize the last regime of doing the same old thing, if you came as a rescue mission, you know, the optics should be different from the past.
You know, and they have not, you know, it's really sad. It's really sad that our country, I mean, we don't know about this guy. We don't know whether he was somebody who really, his name is not out there in sports like that, in a Liberian soccer program and all of that. And you just jump on and name somebody, not even a Liberian, just jump on and give him because somebody working in your government is dating him or is married to him or something like that, and they even do it. You take the garbage, just give him this big job, and nothing will come out of it. And that's what we're seeing. That's why I'm really kind of concerned whether President Barker even know what he's when it comes to soccer, whether he really abreast of the Liberian soccer or what is going on, things like that. I'm really concerned about it, to be honest.
I think so. He's a footballing guy. I follow him and come to football. He's an Arsenal fan, so Dr. Peabody, you may not be like hands-on, but there's important point that as a leader, you have to bring people around that understand every sectors and how it works. That's why you hire professionals within your immediate cabinet to know that I'm trusting you with this responsibility. I know you can deliver. Although the president do have oversight, but hey, you have to trust people who can deliver. I think Garguah is the president eye and come to sports. No, Bangalore, right? Bangalore, right? Yeah. Yeah, the current minister of youth and sport. Bangalore. My fault. Bangalore is the current eye of the president when it comes to sports. So if I'm a president and I want to see sports developing, I will have a periodic conversation with my sport minister. What is happening here? What can we do to improve this sector? Likewise, if I have an agriculture minister, I will meet with my agriculture minister periodically to say, hey, what is happening here? So it's just about having an oversight and being very intentional in engaging those you are being mandated to execute your plan. And that's politics. And that's leadership. You're muted.
I don't think this guy is even working again. I don't know whether he's even working or he's still not working. You know, I don't know. But
but like nothing I've been heard about him. Mm-hmm. The last time I heard about him, I saw him in the PL on Spoon, and that was the only time I heard from him. But again, there should be information coming from his office relative to his functions or to what he's doing in terms of sports. Is he connecting Liberia to other international sporting body to actually bring other opportunity back to the kids back home? Those are questions that he needs to answer.
Right. Yeah, I don't think anything is working. I don't think anything is going on with this guy. So
this is my hope. You asked me what I'm so hopeful. This is why actually ignites my hope in football. Football is a sport that can turn a family that is struggling at the basement of society to a respectable members of society. Because one of their kids with talent is given an opportunity to go out there and prove him or himself and actually make money and come back home and help his people or her people. So this is my thing. Liberia will be benefiting from the FIFA program. So that developmental program should be the hallmark of our forward march in terms of football development.
Yeah.
Again, there's no two way about it. Government should come and say, look, the FA will know their program is the FIFA funded program, but at certain point, there will be national involvement. So how can we help? This is a partnership. And I think the Minister of Youth and Sports should take that lead to engage the Liberian Football Association to know the details of the entire program in order to see, hey, we can be able to be helpful in this aspect. It's very important. That's my hope. My hope that one day there will be a leader that will see football or sport as a sector that can transform the life of a lot of Liberians. That's my hope. And I'm always hopeful.
The poor man's dream is hope, so we got to remain hopeful. But I don't know how long we'll remain hopeful.
So I'm not. That's a good question, Dr. Peabody. I don't think I'm attaching any time frame, but we got to keep talking. We got to keep working behind the scene. We have to be engaging. I do engage with a lot of stakeholders in terms of Liberia's football. We have our chat rooms. We go and talk about football. I think a lot of people are so focused about politics in Liberia compared to sports, which I think is very bad. You find a little man who is coming out who could do another thing in another career path, but he will decide to go into politics because politics is the surest path in Liberia for people to amass wealth easily.
Yeah.
So we have to start to try to speak to the mind of our young people that you can become your own person without being in politics. You can become a national contributor without being in politics. Until we can start these conversations, we'll be heading to a dead end. And I do agree with people who are hopeless. But again, what can we do? We cannot leave our country undone, regardless of geographical location. We are responsible to change the narrative. What I want to start from the little steps, we gotta start doing something. Like what you guys are doing. You guys are providing awareness to people in terms of corruption, in terms of other ills in society. Your platform is perfectly situated, and you guys are doing that. So again, that's what we all have to do. I think again, I come back to my word. You have to be holistic.
Right, exactly. Robert Garguah, welcome. You one of those that have been very passionate when it comes to the Liberian soccer. In fact, you have talked about some of the problems that they are faced with. You have talked about the performance, the games, and all of that. Unfortunately, we could not get Tiba today. I understand he went to the studio and said he was going to. They were not ready, and he was going to move around and come back. He did not show up. So we're getting. That's why the guys in the studio said, but Tiba just sent a text, stuff like that. That he went to the studio and the guy was not ready, and then the guy said he went to walk around. So so it's just. But what I would say here is you want to do Liberian soccer. What is the hope? What's the future of our soccer program in Liberia?
I mean, first and foremost, I think that I love the game and I love sports because I think in this country there's something that brings this country together, right? Irrespective of politics, right? And not just a thing. There are many things that you see this country come together that everyone understand this is the American people's thing, right? Be it Republican, Democrat, Muslims, Christian, Jewish, Catholic, wherever denomination or whatever background you come from. And unfortunately in Liberia, there was not a single thing that brought us together outside of sports. And so when I was growing up as a kid, I'm still relatively young guy, but 4 or 5 years old. I remember those days when everyone came together, including the rebels. Everyone came together when Lone Star played. When we did not even have the facilities that we have right now in the country. People came. I mean, I remember those days, even when I was 13, 14 in this country, when the stadium was so overly crowded to the point where people were dying. I think at one point they had to fine the LFA and we had to pay some fine because of that. Sports for me brought a lot of us together. We enjoyed the game. That was one aspect of that. The second, I'm not sure if it was recreational, but that brought people together. Second aspect of that was sports was a path to success for a lot of young men who, without sports, would have not made anything for themselves. I watched the legs of Francis Grandpa Doe, who was coached by Coach Machine. I went to elementary school in Accra, and so we used to go up on the camp to watch these guys play. Every Sunday it was the big day, either basketball or soccer. And so we would drive from Accra to the city to the camp, and it was phenomenal. But I saw Francis Doe uplift the lifestyle of his family because of soccer. I saw what's the kid name? Dio Williams, Zach Kwenga, Anthony Lanford. And we go all the way back to the legends, George Weah. I mean, look at the story of a George Weah, the James Deba, right? So sports for a lot of these men, and now we're talking about young talents like Devon Tier, right? We're talking about young talents like Williams Gibson. We're talking about young talents like Oscar Dolly. All of these guys are who they are right now. We're talking about these guys being drafted, Europe from in Europe for millions of dollars, something that we never saw frequently during the days of George Weah and these other guys. It's an avenue for young men and women to not only upgrade themselves, but upgrade the lives of their families, right? Especially given the economy that we have. And so it's a no-brainer for any country, especially Liberia, coming out of a long civil war, to see sports as an avenue for investment, and one that would not only in return create jobs and uplift families, but will set the country on a path of international recognition. Today, we are all proud of the fact that George Weah remains the only African to have ever won a Ballon d'Or and a European best. European best. We are proud of that, right? And to some extent, that has put Liberia on the map. But when are we going to transition into the 21st century George Weah? When are we going to make history again? So for any country, especially Liberia, you will see that it will make sense to invest in sports. Why are we not investing in sports? That's another question. But when you look at other countries, Dr. Peabody, Mozambique, the Equatorial Guinea, when you look at Chad, when you look at there was a country Liberia used to flock like it was nothing. What's the country name? I forgot this country, but we beat this country 5-1 when doing the
Mauritania. Mauritania.
It was Mauritania, but there was another country. There was another country that is on a whole. They've been to the AFCON 3 times consecutively. Now it's Chad, not Chad, but it was another country. It was like an island. But if you look at all of these countries now, Dr. Peabody, they're way ahead of Liberia when it comes to sports. They are consistently at the AFCON. And you know what? The issue is not that these guys are more talented than us, because I don't know any country with raw talents than Liberia. Who would have ever thought that Devante, after just 1 year, Cape Verde, there you go, thank you, Cape Verde. Cape Verde was a country that Liberia flocked. Cape Verde, you look at the Cameroons, all of these small islands are advancing in sports. And you know what, like I said earlier, these guys don't have more talent than us, but they've been able to give the young men and women the opportunity. But beyond that, most of the players were born in Europe, and they were able to establish the foundation to get these guys the Scots and stuff back home. We have not done that. And
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
it is. It is very, very. What is the underlying cause, Robert? We talk about it. We talk about Rwanda. We talk about countries. Why is it that we are just where we are? We're not going anywhere. We sit in the same place. We struggle. The same old thing after every regime. We get back into the same situation. Every regime, we run right back into the same situation. What is it that we are missing? What is it that we need to do?
We're missing structure, Peabody. We're missing structure. And sometimes I was talking to a friend of mine in England yesterday. I was telling him, I said, look, I got to come back to Manchester when the new coach comes. He came in today, and I got to come and watch a game because I really had fun when I went to England. And we were talking about, just soccer in Africa and how these European scouts and agents are taking advantage of the talents in Africa. And it clicked because we had a similar situation recently where a young talent in Devante left Liberia, a local second division club, Nima United, after he left Masa Academy, Nima United. And this club in Sweden was able to purchase him, Dr. Peabody, listen to this, for $120,000. Now, this was after he was named by one of the leading sports newspaper in England as one of the talents from Africa. Yet and still, and there were lots of clubs after him. AC Milan, Manchester United, Manchester City. There were clubs in Portugal, Italy after this guy. Yet and still, he was allowed to be transferred from a local club in Liberia to Europe for $120,000. Now, for that club, I understand that could be seen like a lot of money, but I'm thinking to myself, why would any club allow such a talent to leave Liberia, go to Europe for that kind of money with no kind of structure in place as far as any sell-on clause or whatever to really, gain what was invested? Well, guess what? In less than 6 months, this kid was then sold to another top club in the Czech Republic, the same club Oscar Dolly plays for about $5 million. This is a club that just recently bought this kid from Liberia for $120,000. $120,000 investment was turned into $4-something million on return on investment. Now, this kid is moving to the Czech Republic to a bigger club. He will more than likely play in the Europa League come January and subsequently in the Champions League next year because they're currently leading at the top of the Czech league, right? And so you're thinking about these things right after that transfer took place. This particular club in Sweden went back to renegotiate for another player. William Gibson is a 17-year-old kid, tall, well-built striker. He's been playing pretty well for the national team. He had 2 goals in 4 games. They offer $120,000. Luckily, because of the sale of Devante, his club said no. Having 11 said no, we're not going to give $120,000. So the Czech club came in and offered something, more than $120,000. We don't know exactly how much that is, but according to one of my sources from Heaven 11 coach, I think they added $100,000 more on that. So if you're saying $250,000, that's still nothing.
They're making millions out of it.
Millions of dollars. So what we're missing is the structure, number one, and the opportunity. The government have got to invest, and the government have got to see these investments as a possible return on investment. Because here's the thing. Imagine if Liberia were to make the World Cup in 2001. Imagine what would have happened to the country. Imagine the economic benefit that would have come. Imagine the funds from FIFA that would have gone to Liberia had Liberia managed to make the World Cup. Imagine if we were making the AFCON every year. Imagine how much opportunity and how much light you bring to the league and the country for more young men and women to go abroad. But we don't have structure. We don't have administrators. We don't have club that understand that this is an investment and a money-making business. And so
Right.
a lot of young people will catch on the very first opportunity to leave the country, to go abroad.
Right.
Coach Mission, come in.
Yeah, you said it right. You got it spot on. I want to look at education. A lot of clubs officials are not educated when it comes to the business side of the footballing industry. So a club can come to Africa, look at how financially the clubs are struggling, and can in 100,000 or 150,000 could be a huge gain for them based on our Liberian scenario. But what happened to other places is like they put into the documentation a feature setter clause where if the player go further, we still got percentage. And another thing, developmental clause should be added into the deal that because we developed the man from the youth level up to present, we invested. So we need return on the developmental investments. So again, you talk about structure. The FA should be holding regular symposium to educate club officials about the dealings, the marketing aspect of football. That's important because sometimes you must go into a deal. If you are novice, I can steal you in the process. And what the Europeans do to African clubs, not only Liberia, to other African nations, they do the same. They exploit players, they exploit local clubs. But until you can understand that I can play in my country and have a livable wage, I will not rush to go to Europe. You know, I will continue my development until the rightful offer can come. But how? Do a man who made $50 per month see the offer that he will go to Europe, make 2,000 or 3,000 monthly? He will jump on it. So his entire thing is that we have to put money into football and understand that this is a business. This is no merrymaking. Gone out of days where people just go to ATS, play a game, people go and womanize and drink beer and go back on the next weekend back up. People are making livelihood from football. So we have to understand that. It used to happen in Brazil back in the day. Brazilian talents were leaving Rio de Janeiro, going early into Europe. The people said, no, we can nurture our talent and make more money. The lack of Robinho and Nyenwolo, they were millionaire before they even went to Europe. They were millionaire breadfruit in a domestic before they even went to Europe. Because the people brought in marketing strategies, company invested in the league. So players were not in rush to go to Europe. So those are things that we all have to say that you have to be crafted in our national football developmental policy. Or else kids will continue to be exploited. We saw the exit of the Liberian player going to Indonesia. There was no opportunity. People ran to Indonesia by themselves. What happened at the end of the day? A lot of people got stranded. So the whole thing is systemic. It's a systemic failure.
I agree. It's systemic. And when you mention other countries, but you see that other countries, yes, there's still some sort of exploiting going on, but it's not at the level as it is in our country. Because if you look at Ghana, for instance, Ghana, I think a local player just got transferred from a league in Ghana for $8 million.
Yeah.
You remember that? I think this was a month or two ago.
Yeah. So you know what happens? Before then, Ghana was in the same situation until they decided, you know what, we have to be intentional about the business aspect of the game. Liberia have to be intentional. We have to be intentional.
Yeah, we got to be intentional, and we have to invest. We have to put in place structure, and we have to do the right things because, again, Dr. Peabody, the talents are in the country. If you look at the national team right now, we have one of the youngest national team in the country. And I was talking to a buddy. I said, in most countries, some of the guys that are called on our national team right now will be in the under 20, the under 21, the under 22. But unfortunately, some of the biggest stars we have right now are not even 19. They're 18. You talk about Devontae. Devontae will be one of the biggest talent in the world one day. I mean, you've seen the kid play and you expect nothing. I did not expect anything. And you know what? If I was on Nima United and if I was part of that deal, I would have said, no, we're not taking $120,000. I would take $500,000 and I want a 10 or 15% settle clause on that deal, because it was a no-brainer that this kid would have been sold for millions of dollars. And today, at only 18 years old, he's already a millionaire. He already a millionaire. So if Devontae's story does not serve as an inspiration, as an encouragement to the authorities of football in our country, then I don't know what is, because the talents, there are plenty Devontae in our country. They're lacking the structure, they're lacking the program, and they're lacking the opportunities. One last point I want to make is this: when Joseph Walker took over, I watched his video when he visited the national team, and I was encouraged by his statement when he said, "Look, I'm either in on this or I'm not in at all." And I felt like we did not get that from George Weah, and a lot of people who know me would tell you this, because George Weah was a soccer star. I didn't expect him to focus on soccer, just how I did not expect Barack Obama to be president for Black America. But I expected more investment from a guy who came from the Lone Star, and a guy who got the same opportunity to go to Brazil and other places when Samuel Doe was there. I don't think George Weah, as a former national team player and captain, truly invested in Lone Star and sports in general as he would have, right? I still think there's a lot of things he should have done, he could have done, that he did not do, right? But generally, I don't think the government is the chief patron of sports. I don't think they have invested in sports, and the momentum is currently not in the country. When Lone Star play, you see how empty the stadiums are.
Yep.
We don't see that momentum, and the reason why it's like that is because we have not been performing well. We have not been at the AFCON in almost 15 years, and we need to change that narrative. But there is still hope, because when I see transfers like Devontae, when I see transfers like Oscar Dully, when I see transfers like Samson Dewey, these guys, there's a possibility he might be playing in Italy next year. When I see these things happening of young players who came from absolutely nothing, it tells you how much more talent we have. We have to give them the opportunity. We have to invest in the league, and we have to invest in them.
Exactly. So I hope those listening to us, especially those in leadership, would just listen to you, Robert and Michelle, and there's concern here. We have the talents, but we can develop the talents because we have not given much, to them. And how do our player? You got a player being purchased for $170,000 and sold for over $5 million, almost $5 million, and then they are making millions on this young man, and he's not. He's a victim. He got nothing from his own gift, his own talent. He has nothing from it because they sold him and made a lot of money, But if we had the right thing in place, or any kind of advice and consultation in place, this kid would have benefited from his wealth. He's worth a lot. Our national team, is down. We're nowhere on the FIFA ranking. We are nowhere. I don't want us to, the next 1 hour, I want us to just shift things here a little bit. I'm sorry Deba didn't make it. There was confusion. He came and went to walk around with the guys, and then came back when it's time for him to come on. He was nowhere around. And probably it was late. I don't know how he got there, his transportation and things like that. But, the thing is, there are a lot of young talent in that country. There are a lot of young people in that country. And, I see them just lingering around. Great soccer players, good kid, in different countries. One of the things I advocated for in the past, that let's utilize the kids in the different countries when it comes to the county meet. In the past, you had players coming from Rovia, going to Nima, going to Bong, and sometimes the whole team for that county will be overpowered by guys coming from Rovia, a guy coming from first division team, and all of that. There are talents in there. Those kids are there. They are practicing on the daily basis. They have the team. Why can't we tap into those guys that are directly in the counties, that are directly playing, practicing, and see the talent and bring that together, develop talent. But I don't know what it still exists. But in the past, content meet, you'll bring all the players from Monrovia, all the basketball players from Monrovia. They all will constitute the different teams for the county and things like that. And I think it was not, to me, I don't think it was a good idea. I don't know what it still is, Robert. You got to know more about the stuff.
But Dr. Peabody, what about when we talk about structure, right? I was talking to my during the last administration. I have a lot of friends in that area. The content meet right now is the most talked about. The content meet generates the most audience, and I assume because people are more connected to their ethnic background
and the most revenue as well.
The most revenue, right? Basel playing people show up. In most European countries, the clubs represents most of the cities. Manchester City, Manchester United, okay, Tottenham, Chelsea, all of these clubs are part of a community. Yes, they are business. Yes, they are owned by folks that may not necessarily come from those cities, but people who live in those areas, right? A kid like Rashford, growing up in Manchester. When he was growing up in Manchester, Manchester United was the biggest thing. And it was every kid dream, whether they were from Manchester or not, to represent that club. But the fans, the club is a part of the community. Why is it that we can't change the structure to having counties represented in its own league rather than a tournament? And someone said to me, I don't think that idea will work. I said, why not? I'm not saying you must be from Grand Bassa to play for Grand Bassa County, because it's not the case right now, right? Players are contracted to play for different counties. So what if you had the league dissolve the Mate Baro, the IE, because there's no structure there, right? Baro and IE now there are no more names in our country.
Did you say the league dissolve IE and Baro? What do you mean?
What I'm saying is to create the kind of excitement and to have fans more attached to clubs, why can't we have counties represents their respective clubs? For instance, Bassa County could be considered a club. If not Bassa County FC, right? It could be Bassa Football Club. But that club can come from that county so that the people of Bassa feels more attached to that club. Now, a kid from Monrovia could be contracted 2-3 years to play for Bassa Football Club. A kid from Bassa could be contracted 2-3 years to play for Lofa County football team, so forth and so on, and have a tournament. I believe if you do that, you attach more significant to the fan base. Because if I'm from Bassa, I'm definitely not supporting Lofa. And guess what? If I'm from Bassa and I grew up in Macerado, or I was born in Macerado County, I can have two teams. One of my teams could be Macerado County or Macerado Football Club. My other team could be Bassa, right? In that tournament. I think people can financially connect, emotionally connect with their clubs when they feel like, you know what, this is not just about me, but this is my family extension, right? My granddad from Bassa, my mom from Bassa or Grand Cru, or if my dad from Bassa, my mom from Grand Cru, I can support those two teams financially. But right now, people don't feel a connection to the local clubs in our country. Look at the turnout. When you have these local leagues, no one shows up. There's no connection. But when the county league comes from December to January, they feel it's so packed. I mean, the revenue is there. Why don't we change that structure to have those things in place? Number one. Number two, way back in the day, a big brother was telling me the inter-high school league was a big thing in our country.
Very big, yeah.
Schools were represented from different places, and this is where it was almost like a tryout for the local, the under 15, the under 14, the under 15. Mute yourself, coach. It was almost like the trial for the little teams. But these days, where's the inter-high school league? We don't know what happened to the inter-high school league. right? So we need to put our house in order, and these things are not done. These things are no brainer, Dr. Peabody. All you need is the right administrators and people who understand the business of football. You put the inter high school league, you restructure the national league to attach the counties, and I think you invest. You invest. We got money. The country got money. You know how much money these politicians are playing with? Why you think everyone wants to be a lawmaker? Why you think everyone wants to work in government? Because there's money there. But you have to start budgeting the right way and start restructuring and looking at what works. I think if we restructure the league where it's reflective of the counties, you will see people showing up. We can have stadiums in Grand Bassa, use the FIFA funding, have stadiums in Grand Bassa. All of the different organizations can support their respective county sports budget, right? Stadium can be built in Grand Bassa County. Stadium can be built in Lofa County, right? Grand Coup County, Nima County. All of these counties have organizations. All of these organizations are internationally based. All of these are all new ideas, but you need people who are thinking beyond what happened 50, 100 years ago and thinking into the future. I don't know what Coach thinks about it.
Yeah, those are all wonderful and brilliant ideas. But again, it starts with educating the people about these ideas. That's the first step. People are been living in the past. You know, Liberia, change is very, very difficult to come true in Liberia. But people have been conditioned to believe that a new idea is not possible in a Liberian scenario. So we want to start with education. So county meet could be the best experimental ground. You can say the county start from the 3rd division or the 2nd division level. So each county team represents a 2nd division team. Whether there's a Barrow in Bassa, the county team is the county team. You want to support Barrow, you support Barrow. You want to support the county team. In Grand Crew, you have the county team start at 3rd or 2nd division. And these teams have feeder teams. So during the county meets, the feeder teams players will represent the county during the county meets. And those feeder teams will be the breeding ground for talent identification that will have a pathway to the senior team. So again, all what you are just stated, they are all brilliant and doable ideas. But we have to have people to buy into the ideologies. We have to have people. We have to have people who will say, let us sit down on the drawing board, let us put these ideas together and see how can we move from point A to point B. Because I advocated for the National Football Symposium, where we have experts coming from all over the world, whether you're based in Liberia or any part of the world, come back and let us brainstorm a fun solution and create an identification of a Liberian football. How do we want to run our football? How do we want to play? How do we want to be recognized on the international stage? But people will not give you the opportunity to sit with them to bring forth these ideas. There's a barrier. There's a barrier between breaking forth good ideas and people accepting. And until we can break that barriers, we'll keep talking. We're talking, and you guys been saying all the right things. I follow you, Garguah. I know you are very, very passionate about football. We all know that football needs to take a different direction in Liberia. But how long can we talk? How long can we talk? Before Zoga became the Minister of Youth and Sport, at the time, we all used to live in the New Jersey area. I think you were across the bridge. I was in Trenton. I think this could be a new idea. Every year is a kind of meet. We could build or facilitate in every county before a year ends. We can provide a budget. So after 15 years, there will be 15 football facilities in all the 15 political subdivisions in Liberia. It's doable. Other people did it. I don't like to compare Germany, but I went to Germany in 2018. I went to Bremen. I spoke with a director. The man said the German Football Association saw the idea of every team having a developmental program. They saw the idea to the German national government, and the government sponsored it financially. And today, everything is history. Look at where the people came from. It just started in the 1990, 89 to 1990. How many years ago? So it's better to bring the thing in to the discussion room. It's very important. It's very important, and those who are responsible to take the decision will be over to listen and work with people who are coming with this other brilliant idea. It's very important, or else talent will continue to be exploited. They are middle or advanced here in Liberia. If people are not educated to manage the talents, the kids will go. I've seen a player who want to go somewhere, and you're trying to prevent them. They will go. They will go because people are striving. The family even get nothing to eat, and the people are depending on them to bring bread to the table. So it's a big national issue. It's a big national issue. And football, sport in general, can drive economic in a positive direction until Liberia government can understand the facts. The English FA alone in 2011 provided million jobs outside government. Do you think football can provide jobs? Yes, football can provide jobs. So it will reduce burden for national government in creating employment for its citizenry. But until we can sit down and structure a national football developmental plan, we've got a lot to say and a lot to talk about. Now, what's happening in Liberia, I don't know, Robert, if you are aware, the election of the Liberian Football Association presidency is like 2 years plus away. But a lot of politics about who to lead the FA. People are neglecting the basic developmental structure of football. They're talking about politics that is 2 years plus away. So you see the mindset? People want leadership because of what they can get. I just want to stop there. I just want to provide a point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm following the election. I will say this off the back right now. He probably listening because I heard he listened to our show a lot. But I know that the one of the key competitors to the LFA president is Cole. Cole, yeah. And so look, Fasse, whatever his name is, I don't know Fasse or
Kasse.
You know, but Dr. Peabody, this guy has bankrolled the entire league, and but he got some really tinted record. This dude was arrested on wire transfer fraud, and actually he stole millions of dollars from folks in the U.S. in some sort of gold exchange or whatever promises made, and he was arrested. Yeah, he was arrested, and he served close to 6-7 years in prison. And because he's not a U.S. citizen, all of the investment he made were in Liberia. All of the investment he made were in Liberia. After he served his time, I think after a year left, they decided to deport him to Liberia, which is what they do to non-U.S. citizens. They sent him back to Liberia. But here's the thing. When he went back to Liberia, he didn't need anything else from the U.S. because all of the money he stole was not invested in America. The only thing he had in America here was his family and a house. I think it was somewhere in Jersey or Philly. Charlotte. Yeah. Everything else was in Liberia. He went back to Liberia, and he went back being a multi-millionaire in Liberia because the money he had stolen was invested in Liberia. Now, here's what he has done. He said, now I'm a clean man. He got a vehicle company. He's into all of the different IT stuff, and he's making a lot of money, right? He purchased he purchased a team from the first division league and renamed the team into his name and what the team he had previously, right? FC Fassel. He hired a white coach from Belgium, and his team is the only team with a foreign coach. And he was able to send them to Egypt for preseason training. I mean, it costs a lot of money. So he obviously has a lot of money. And he went and offered the LFA $500,000 through his car company as the key sponsor for the league. Wow. And you know what the LFA president said? The LFA president, and this was double the amount that Lone Star or Celcom was offering as the key sponsor to the National League. The president said, I can't accept that. I cannot accept that because this man, the way he acquired his money is very questionable. And what amazes me is the fact that soccer lovers in our country Most of them right now, if election was held today, they will vote for this guy Fasel because they don't see the integrity issue yet. They don't see the representation issue yet if this guy were to become LFA president. All they're saying right now is, oh, this man investing so much money into the league. The man is offering you $500,000 to sponsor the league, and you
don't care.
And you are rejecting money. They don't care.
It's all about the money.
This is the reason why decent people in our country don't survive.
No.
Because our people don't understand principles.
Yeah.
And so I told a friend of mine, I said, when that election starts, coach, I will fly to Liberia and I will get on a few radio stations. I don't know the LFA president, Mustafa Raji, but I just like the fact that this guy is a guy who seems to have some sort of integrity. He may not have deep pockets like Fasel, but every funds that have come from FIFA has been reinvested into the country. Today we have stadiums in other counties. They're investing $600,000 to redo the stadium in is it in Nima? Yeah, in Nima County. In Nima County, you mute their coach. All of the money that are coming in for sports.
In Nima Kampa. They just programs.
All of the money, you can see what the money is coming from. It was under his watch that SKD, of course, this was all the government doing, but SKD got the facelift that it got, right? And so we don't look at people who truly want to do the right thing and do the right thing and keep that integrity. We look at people who have the biggest of pockets. And so the elections is coming up. We have a lot of work to do with that. But like Coach Mission was saying, look, man, we have a lot of work to do, Dr. Peabody.
A lot of work, man.
I cannot wait for a president who understands all of the major investment. When it comes to youth and sports is the arm of the government that should be advancing sports, not just for boys, but for girls. The girls' league has improved tremendously, something we never seen in over 100-something years. Okay? Determined girls and all of the different clubs are going all over the place representing our country, but they don't have the kind of support. So we have to give them the support. And this is the reason why I always disagree with people who says we should dissolve the national team and focus on rebuilding. No, you can chew gum and walk at the same time. We can
work together. I must say I give you ideology.
We can rebuild, invest, and still have a national team. We may not get the result that we need right now, but you got to keep playing. You got to keep reinvesting. You got to keep appointing the right people. And this is the reason why I was in support of not George Weah, but James Deba being reappointed as a national team head coach right now until we get our act together, because he had one of the best records when he was previously appointed. One of the best record, a better record than all of the white coaches that was appointed. But you know what? Most of these white coaches got paid more money than any of the local coaches who perform better than them. That's another thing we have to change as well. We have to believe
that was going to be the conversation for today's show. But unfortunately, they didn't come on. But that was the direction of the conversation for today's show, right? Dr. Peabody?
Yeah. And you see it, Robert, exactly. You see here, unfortunately, the football program in Liberia have been politicized, just like any other nonsense that happened in the country. If you didn't support one side, then they take that against you. They forget about that football should be something that is open. Because every Liberian celebrate that. Everybody love that. Every Liberian, but now it has been politicized badly until you have good coaches in our country will not be given the opportunity to coach the team, because they didn't vote for me. So what? Who really cares? I mean, football should not even be part of that. So football has been politicized now. It's not going to go anywhere. In my own conviction, it's not going nowhere. Just how we have a government, I have a country that is not going anywhere. They are overly corrupt. I mean, just today alone, Robert, they have some group going into the House of Representatives and breaking all the chairs. The majority block, or whatever block they call themselves, went into the place, dismantled almost everything in the Capitol building. Look, you see, let me read what Front Page Africa reported. It said on Monday, lawmaker staff at the Liberian legislature arrived to find the whole jump chamber in disarray, with over 500 chairs uprooted. Can you imagine? A Front Page Africa reporter on the scene confirmed that all chairs have been removed by a new individual, escalating the ongoing crisis within the House of Representatives. What, you have a country now where the government is partly not functioning well. They're not. Because you have the House of Representatives. There's nothing going on. The government, I don't know whether they ever send the budget or who to send the budget to. Now you got the managing director of the water and sewer, who is saying he's going to go to the whatever majority block tomorrow. If they invite him, he's going to go there and all of that. All this nonsense going in the country. Who will even concentrate on doing something for football? Who will ever concentrate? Who will ever thinks who will bring out the whole country is a mess? You know, I hate to say this, but I don't know what then I heard another do-nothing group called Garguah. They sent another group to Liberia today, and I heard the president did not even want to meet with it. What? Look, why should Garguah even intervene in a domestic issue that can be resolved by Liberia, all of that, and all of that comment and stuff like that? So the whole thing is a mess, Robert. So as we try to promote Liberian soccer here, it's not going anywhere because the government itself not going anywhere.
So I agree. I agree with you, Dr. Peabody. There's a doctrine of trickle-down effect. What is happening from the top is coming down to sports, to football.
Yep.
The people are disorganized at the top.
Yep.
And I saw one video where people who said they are lodging at the RJ Hotel somewhere along the highway. They come in a motorcade, like a convoy, you know, like when the rebel used to come to the city.
Yeah.
People disembarking on the vehicle with a telephone in their ear to get bodyguard, like a rebel activity. I was like, why is there? What kind of civilized society see people who should be crafting legislations for the nation and they acting this way? You know, like it's so sad. It's so sad. If you try to say there's people who don't know, because you live in the West. No, it's not about the West. The West had our own situation. But the kind of performances don't help our country. And at the end of the day, the common people who make $200 per month, they are not getting paid. And people who are getting 15,000 a month are getting paid on a regular and very consistent basis. With a lot of immunities. So where are we going? Then people are going to say football, Liberian national team is useless. No, the kids are trying to even represent Liberia. That's a sacrifice by itself. People living in Europe and coming to represent Liberia, giving $1,800 as a game per dam. Who does that?
But
you got people sitting in RLJ, spending almost $20,000-$30,000 a night. And the girlfriend, you right.
But the same people, the same hotel that those lawmakers have been in for weeks now, the government of Liberia owes that hotel. They owe that hotel because they have begged that hotel to lodge the national team on Sepe. I love that new word. I learned that word 3 weeks ago from a guy in Liberia. He said it was on Sepe. Say, let the people stay here. I will pay. The very government that the Peabody, when the LFA sent the budget via the Ministry of Youth and Sport for the 2 previous games that were just played, $400,000 and some $1,000. And that also included for the under 17 games. The government said that they did not have all the money. They had to borrow the airline. The air tickets that these boys were flying on was also borrowed.
Yeah, I said that.
If you remember the last game we played in Monrovia against Equatorial Guinea, that game was played on a Thursday. Normally, if you have a game on Sunday, after the game, you're either supposed to board the next flight that night or the next morning, fly back in so the boys can kind of stretch their legs a little bit and and relax before the game. Because the government was holding the airline refused to reissue the return ticket. The airline said, we will not reissue the return ticket until you pay half of what you owed us. And those boys almost got stuck in Equatorial Guinea. It wasn't until last minute that the government was able to send half of the money, and the airline issued the ticket for the boys to leave on Saturday. So think about this. All of the teams that were playing in Liberia, Sierra Leone came from Ivory Coast and got to Liberia 2 days before. They were borrowing SKD. They're still borrowing SKD. Equatorial Guinea, who was their away team, came to Liberia almost 15 hours before Liberia national team arrived on the eve, less than 24 hours to that game on Sunday. So the boys did not get any kind of training before the game. Can you imagine that? This very government that cannot afford $400,000, which includes per diem, air tickets, and things like that for their players. The players were back to play the game, and upon arrival in Liberia, they will get their parents' fee. Do you know how many parents' fee that country, the government owed some of these players and coaches that still have not gotten paid yet? So these boys are doing these things out of love for country. I listened to Simpson Dua the last time talking about, and I really love him. I think that's the reason why he's going to succeed. He said, I would never turn down a call to represent Liberia. Even if Liberia cannot buy my ticket, I will buy my own plane ticket and go and represent our country. He said, I will be in Liberia on Wednesday to represent our country. 22-year-old kid, 22, 23-year-old, right? But again, it's just so much more we can take because these guys, they have families to support. You have a country where you don't have jobs. And the people who are out there, do you know how many families depend on people in this country? When one person leaves Liberia and succeed abroad, do you know how many families they have to support? It's just so much. And the government don't understand that. Another problem. They
only welcome you when you succeed. But in the process, they don't prepare you.
They don't know about you. They don't know about you. They don't know how you got there. Have you wondered why I say most of these Liberian so-called superstars, after their careers, some of these guys I see them in Monrovia today, I say, what? Is that a former Lone Star player?
Of course.
The last time I saw Christopher Ware, I was getting out of my car. I saw the man standing up in some corner. I don't know what he was doing there. The slipper on his, I'm not trying to shame the man, but I mean, the slippers on Christopher Ware's feet, I was like, wow.
He done, yeah.
I mean, all of the money these guys made, you don't see the kind of nice homes they live in. These guys who have businesses, you don't see that. So the education piece of football is important too. I think Coach Myean alluded to that. These players have to understand money management. They have to understand that football is not a lifetime thing. 32 years maximum. So what are you going to do after that? What kind of investment do you have after that? I don't know a rich Liberian soccer player that after soccer, they are still living the same lifestyle. Some of these guys cannot even go on vacation to Europe. And I was asking last time, I said, if Diba are here today, I'm going to ask Diba, when are you going to leave Liberia to go back to France to just vacation?
What Diba didn't carry? You got that question.
Right. Go ahead, man.
So
the manager broke. That the people are broke.
I want to say this. I launched a program on my podcast before a couple of years ago called After the Lights Are Off. Meaning, after your career is done, what next? Because when you are playing, you are under the limelight. You are a celebrity. People worship you. People provide for you. People give you a lot of stuff. But when those information can no longer come your way, when the opportunity cease to be provided to you, what can you do with your life? So I think it comes down to education, money management, investment education. And we cannot do it alone. It's the entire nation. So I think the FA, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, can create a situation where the young players, forget about the older guys, the guys are older, they're off the scene, our next generation of players. Money management, investment education will be embedded in their engagement with football from an early age. And I think we got a lot of experts, we got a lot of financial experts in the country. You can hire them like a part-time. okay, our team is on camp for X amount of days. Can you come to speak to our boys? Create some PowerPoints, speak to our boys, and let's talk about investment. Let's talk about retirement, all those little things. And now, why the Ghana football, the former football association, the doors for former Ghanaian players. The guy expert that they bring. The guy is the chairman of the association, former Ghanaian international, and Anthony Bedford. So they're bringing professionals from different backgrounds who educate players about investment, about different things in life, because they know a lot of Ghanaians players fall prey to mismanagement. So the idea of the whole program is to prepare the next generation of players to be very careful. Like tomorrow, all these people who are sinking places, if you no longer can provide the services for which they are sinking places today, you will be a person of the past. So you got to protect yourself. You got to enjoy life after football. Football is one of the shortest career paths. After 32 years old, 34 years old, you're not going to be contract. So why can you do what you're earning when you are younger? So those are the conversations, and we all have to engage those conversations. The player's family, their fiancé, everybody associated within that player ecosystem have to be able to speak to them about those things. We all make mistakes in life, but we can't allow the mistakes to perpetuate. We have to take care of the next generation, and that's important for me. I just wanted to keep that in here.
Thank you very much, Machine. It's about 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. Like the rest of will want leave you at 12:30. So the next 30 minutes, very, very fascinating conversation. Very, very fascinating. I don't know, but I look to you guys who got so much hope in Liberia and the future of football in our country, especially on a such a leadership. I'll look to you guys, and maybe you guys can prove me wrong that something good is gonna come up. But unfortunately, the young children, the talent, beautiful talents, and things like that. But it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to see, especially. I mean, they said the dad should take the lead. And if you have a leadership that got no interest in this, in taking the lead and things like that, what's going to happen? Robert, you've been following the news. I understand the ECOWAS group, but what kind of group went to the House of Representatives today? I just want to do this sport politics, and then we can close. The ECOWAS group went to the House of Representatives today and saw all the chair that were removed and everything happening. How will you talk about this a little bit?
But listen, the ECOWAS, Liberia is a member state of ECOWAS. And so ECOWAS, has three layers of governance, right? They have the executive, they have the judiciary, and they also have the legislative arm, right, which is the parliament. And so we have some of our representatives who are part of that parliament. They go to meetings and things like that. So when these things are happening, as what is occurring in our country, I believe it was brought to the attention of the president, and the president, ECOWAS, instructed members of the parliament to inquire on what's happening, and that it was concerning. I think that what is happening in our country, could, by extension, affect the region, right? And so I personally I think it's a disgrace to some extent to have ECOWAS come, because ECOWAS can solve this issue. ECOWAS can intervene and try to encourage these folks to respect the laws, which is what we've been saying from the get-go. But they can bring a resolution. I think the resolution is what we've been saying forever. If you have the 49 persons required by law to remove the speaker, then you've got to go to the joint chambers, allow him due process, and let the thing play out. They refuse to do that. So ECOWAS can resolve this issue, right? It's up to those lawmakers. It's up to us, right? But I'm glad that they see reason to intervene. And I personally don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm glad that they're intervening on this matter. And so that's what this whole ECOWAS situation is about. That there were representatives to go and meet with these guys to discuss what's happening. And I think Ben was speaking on this issue on Friday. This is not unique to Liberia, right? ECOWAS recently intervened in the parliamentary dispute at the Ghana parliament, right? The Ghanaian parliament. They have a better structure than we do, and so I don't see nothing wrong with this. Now, for these guys to have gone in there and just basically do what they did, it speaks to the fact that these guys have no interest in showing that the law prevails. These guys have proved, I'm not saying it, but their actions have proved that they are not decent human beings. Okay, because to go, what will provoke them to go into the House of Rep? This is their house. It's one thing to have a disagreement. It's one thing to not want the speaker. It's one thing to want to remove the speaker because you have no vote of confidence in him, right? But what will provoke you to go and break down your house? This is what we did during the war. We had disagreements, and we took the disagreements onto the streets, and this is why thousands of innocent lives were taken. There were people who were murdered that had nothing to do with the political disagreement at the executive mansion. All of this tribalism and stuff that got us into this mess and power struggle. All some Liberians wanted was better leadership, and so we still have not learned our lesson. We still have not learned how to disagree civilly. We still have not learned that we can disagree fiercely without, knocking each other out or without destroying a place that we would need later. Mm-hmm. Why would they go in there? That's their house. Why would they go in there and basically just destroy the place? Who's going to pay for the replacement of those chairs? I heard about they're doing a renovation of the House of Representatives. Who's going to pay for that? The money is not coming from their pockets. This is taxpayer money. It's taxpayer money. And so this is the kind of rehabilitation that we need. And think about this, Dr. Peabody. I'm not sure about you, but it scares me to death that the very people who need rehabilitation the most are those we call leaders today.
Yep.
They may not be the Zogos. Those Zogos, if you give them the better opportunities, if you put them in better positions,
right,
they might have a better common sense to conduct themselves accordingly,
right,
because they know their lives are dependent on it.
Yeah.
But the people that are supposed to uphold our laws, the people that are supposed to be an exemplary of the laws, the people that are supposed to know better, and the ones that we call leader, are the ones that are acting like Zogos.
Yeah. But Robert, it seems like, I'll come to you, Myean, if you want to put in it. But it seems like there is something not right. Either the president is supporting another group behind the scene, or he's not supporting Chamakofa. In the first place, they blocked the budget from going to the House because the House don't have the quorum or giving it to the Speaker. Senator Abuchir from Sano County wrote and said that, yes, he should have sent it to the Speaker anyway until the Speaker get a quorum so that he can act on it, on that budget. They didn't do it. They delayed it, and nothing is happening. I said they were going to file other legal means. But the President Baka knows this is stalling his government from moving forward, from making progress. It's stalling it. But let me say this. These are people who, if everything is resolved, even if, let me say that, even if Fanatic Kofa was to move, how are they going to repair those chairs? You're breaking the very place that you're supposed to be sitting in, O'Neill. You are breaking it. You should be lawmaker. Like Robert alluded to, they are even behaving more than Zogos. because Zogo's not even that crazy to do it. But yet and still, you're breaking this place. And if the time comes for you to go back and go into section, you have nowhere. Where you go again? You go right into the money that should be supporting other emergency needs. You go there and try to bring us something again that you not pass anything until they get us certain money to fix this thing. What? Coming, Myean. We'll bring you into the politics. We got a few more, 25 more minutes. We just want to talk about a little bit of politics.
I'm going to make the point. I'm going to leave you guys so you're around and continue with the politics.
Yeah.
So I think it's another avenue to exploit the Liberian people. I want to be clear on that, because those who should be making laws, those who be setting standards, and it comes to the states, are the same people who are destroying state-owned properties.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow they're going to put in a budget that those chairs will need to be replaced or repaired.
Yeah.
And that's another route or avenue for corruption. I'm not going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the rigmarole that is taking place on Capitol Hill, if there's a status within their own code of conduct or their own rules and regulations that state that a due process is needed to oust a speaker, why can't you follow the process?
Mm-hmm.
Because you ask every citizen in the country to follow the law. Why you who are crafting the law are refusing to follow through?
Yeah.
So that's a conflict I can understand. But again, I have no blame for them. I blame the electorates, those who vote those people into offices. Because tomorrow they're going to truck people to their various constituents just to get back in the house. And Oman Mary or Oman Fatu, who can earn $100 a month, will be celebrating a person whose family is in the West. Children are going to quality school in other countries, and they are living the best of life. Well, you are saying until we can change our mentality, we will continue being talking. I think it's about the people. The people have to stand up. People have to stand up. No, I saw the guy called Vendana Patrick, like leading a protest at the Capitol. No, you have to get.
And that escape on the back.
Okay, let me just conclude. I know you want to say something funny about it there. So those kind of moves have to meet very huge consensus. People have to be willing to buy into that and storm the Capitol. You can't just take a few hands of people and say you want to. No, you know the people pay people for counter protests in Liberia. We saw it on many occasions. There were times people went to protest legitimately and they met opposition. Other protesters who received funding for the other people. So the country is just kind of more, it's just on a way that people just different in thinking. It's become so difficult. I think there will be some orientation where I'm speaking to one of my psychology at my job. I wanted to go Liberia in the future to just speak at a university of Liberia on a major university in Liberia. Let just change people's way of thinking a little bit. People need to start thinking differently about life.
Yeah.
Because I think people have made people so dependent on them that they feel that a robber, if I talk against robber will cut my source of livelihood. Because that's why they did. That's how they build a system. They don't want to provide job for the people. They don't want to provide other opportunity for the people to be self-sufficient, to be able to self-determine their own course of destiny. So people will be depending on this lawmaker. It's surprising to say lawmakers say you should up our budget because people come to the Capitol Hill to beg for money. Why should people be begging for money at the Capitol Hill? So for that reason, if you're making 15,000, they should take you to 20,000 because about 5,000 you'll be giving it to go. Why you can't create job for these people? Who goes to Washington D.C. to go beg for money? People don't go to Washington D.C. to go beg. Let you get money in the Washington D.C. offices. You go there to petition them to change legislation for the betterment of your people. And I just want to stop there, but I'm going to leave you guys. I got some visitor. Today's my birthday. Okay. I want to go and do some celebration with my guys. I want to say a big thank you to the Closing Argument family for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform with you guys. You guys are doing extremely great work here. You gotta continue. We gotta keep talking, regardless of the opposition out there, the criticism, and that's the beauty of life. We all share different mindset and different way of analyzing things. For me, I come from the footballing background. I have a little bit political lenses. I can do politics, but I don't want to go in depth. But when it comes to football and sports and human behavior, that's my specialty. And I think I'm open to any invitation at any time to come on to share my own little 2 cents with you guys. But I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
So before you go, tell her you're picking. That picking there.
Who am I picking?
That you're picking who play
But man,
for-
you know,
No, don't be laughing, coach. Tell the picking you go to Liberia all the time. The picking have not gone back to
the
Liberia.
picking right here. The picking one Minnesota United.
Man,
You're like a 5 minutes from a job.
I
I'm meeting
know,
everything.
exactly. So tell that picking
Yeah.
represent the country. Don't
No.
let the future right there. Cause Diba or cause Tomo Kojo won't mind inviting the picking.
And that's the and I told you on the reply to your post. I told you this is a process. Labra is not a team you just walk on and say I want to play for you. That's what be engagement process.
But
You got engagement.
you gotta express interest.
So I have in their conversation with me.
Okay.
The man is not doubting that you don't want to play for his country. But again, I don't want to come at you to say, yes, me. Let me hear Rabbi in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to live in Atlanta, Georgia. No, I ain't doing that. The man's a professional man. The man, another thing I don't understand, Rabbi, the man was homegrown from the DC Academy. So the man mentality is a little bit shifted when it comes to professionalism. So we got to go that route. It don't understand that Labrador way of doing things. And you know, I ain't gonna call nobody up and say, "Oh, I get my nephew won't play for Liberia." No, if you want the man to play, start an engagement process. I can be in the middle to initiate the process.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. All right, man. But thanks for coming on. We appreciate that, man. Thank you. Happy
Coach, we're
birthday.
so cool having you. We're definitely going to bring you back when Tiba plans to come again. We'll bring you back. Maybe we'll try to find the time on a Sunday and try to get Tiba on the show so we can do a little early. I'll do an early show. I showed Tiba how to go home. We're running late and stuff like that. So, but next
That's
time,
another thing we're going to talk about that Peabody. Hold Diba. Can you? I don't have to go to the studio necessarily to go to my show. That man should be in his living room somewhere. Send a link to the
Get down the people at the end. We're begging. We need a conversation.
you know, we'll bring you back. You know, when Tiba comes. You know,
the only reason why I went to that studio while I was there because I was already out having fun and I didn't want to go all the way back to my house. But the man should be able to get the link in his house, relax, drinking his little cocktail.
I mean, internet, I still about.
Yeah, but the man should have internet. What, the man can't buy the internet?
Man, what country ain't got internet?
It's a celebrated star, man. The man got to go all the way to the studio to go.
We are not
Okay, guys.
All right, Doc. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, Doc. The man should be in his the representative Musa ability. He don't go to studio. He got his link to his house.
Yeah. Representative Ability is a businessman. He worked hard.
Diva, I love you, man. I love you, Diva. I'm just saying, man. Don't let these guys. You don't have to go to the studio. If we gotta get you some upgraded internet, we'll do that, man. But you gotta be relaxed at your house and do your show, you know. But yeah, Dr. Peabody, you know, these guys. I mean, but I don't blame these guys. I blame the people.
Yeah.
The people. We have an election coming up again. Let's see what will change.
Nothing.
They will take O1. They will take O1 and put new
Nothing.
Nothing
will change. Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing changes. It's the same thing over and over, same thing over and over, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
The Liberian people are not ready. So for almost a month, there have been no work in the house. It will end up to 2 months. I don't know what's going on now. They have resorted into breaking chairs and things like that from the very building. They know how messed up that building was a couple of years ago, and the Chinese had to come in and help us fix that place. And now the whole thing is they're messing it up. They're forming different groups, going and fighting. You know, I don't know what will become of that country, man. I don't know what will become of that country. You know, apparently, and I say that the president have done nothing to even address this situation. Even if you don't want to get involved in what's happening, at least you represent the Liberian people. You should be out there to say something about what's going on. You know, as president of Liberia, you got to inform the Liberian people what's going on in the house and stuff like that. You have not said it. President Bouaga been in power more than 10, 11 months now. He has not had one press conference to tell the Liberian people what is the state of his government, what has the government done. We're not waiting for the end of the year to stand at the Kehleboe and talk about state of the nation address. That's what you're waiting for. You can't have periodic, a quarterly press conference and talk about what's going on in that country, what the government is doing, how you are meeting the needs of the Liberian people. We got Donald Trump in power now. Nothing gonna happen for you guys, honestly. In fact, Donald Trump's focus will be on America, and people in Liberia will hardly get nothing because they're probably gonna be shifting, spending all the money they spent through using and stuff like that. They're gonna be shifting from those things, you know. So if you can come on and talk a simple conflict going on in the house, and you as the leader of that country cannot come up, cannot have a press conference and talk about it, and tell the Liberian people that you represent, this is what's happening, and it continue to go, it may affect you. It may affect you, and Liberian people will get mad and probably get on the street and take the law in the hand. You represent them, and you are saying nothing, and your officials are going back and forth, meeting with these majority bloc, you sending budget and saying that. It's not good for the country. It's really not good for the country.
There are some good people in this government. I don't think all of these guys are terrible. There are some really good people in this government. But I always tell them, unfortunately, and they will never say this publicly, and I understand why. Unfortunately, you don't have a leader. You have a guy that was in a position to compete with George Weah. And and unfortunately, a lot of people took advantage of that. They use him to get back power, to focus on themselves. Unfortunately, I mean, what would most of these guys be with that government? What would they be with that government? I know where I would be with that government. I don't need to work in government to God first, to live a good life, right? Because God has blessed me, right? But what would these guys be with that government? God blessed them too, because they had 12 years. They had 12 years. But what did they do in the interest of the people and themselves? Because when you have a great system, it just doesn't benefit those that are not in the system at that point. It benefits those that might need the system after they've been in government. Why do you think most of our people retrieve, especially those who have the opportunity to come back to the U.S.? Why do you think that most of them return to the U.S. for work purposes? Because without government opportunities, how many more opportunities are there in the private sector? It's embarrassing. It's sad. It's sad. And we've got to change that. But Joseph Bouaga has never proved to be a leader, Dr. Peabody. This was a terrible mistake. And I see people talk about, oh, Robert, you're criticizing this government, and it hasn't even been a year yet. So wait a minute. Okay. And it hasn't been a year yet, and it won't take 6 months or 9 months to fix the damage George Weah made. Okay, granted. You don't have to, it won't take a year to fix the damage George Weah made. But how much more year do you need to understand or get an idea of which direction leadership-wise this president wants to take the country? No one knows what is President Joseph Bouaga foreign policy approach. Who knows? Now they're talking about Russia. Who knows what President Bouaga foreign policy? And I'm just using that as an example. Who knows? Who knows what his educational policy is? What his priority? What is it that he's prioritizing? Right? They jump from a educational tour without any report to say, you know what, this is what we have identified. These are the problems, and we will start fixing some of this problem with this plan. This is the 2 years plan. This is the 5 years plan. They jump to a PhD degree. PhD degree? Are you kidding me? When you don't even have a preschool foundation,
Good, yeah.
you're jumping. I mean, so this president seems to have no idea how to govern, and this is the reason why Ellen Johnson Sirleaf probably did not trust him to pass the torch onto him after 12 years. If it's going to take you this long to fix what George Weah broke in 6 years, then imagine how long George Weah needed to fix what you broke in 12 years.
Well, Robert, look at the president reaching appointment of ambassadors. This man appointed people who had retired from the foreign service and reappointed some of them, like Mr. Kabab, that he appointed to be ambassador of Saudi Arabia. This man has been working foreign service for more than 20, 30 years. You take him and send him as an ambassador. Take these old people. You take Kabab. I mean, the other man, what's his name? The ambassador to the U.S. This man is already retiring. How can he effectively come to this country and represent Liberia with the U.S. and come to policy? You just take all your old friends and you put them in position that they're not even going to function. They're not even going to deliver anything, any tangible they're going to bring to this country. They're just going to, for Liberia, they're just putting them there because you're a friend and you're just going to put them there as they come. That is saddening. It saddens me that our country will go in that direction because everybody thought that President Bouazizi knew better. That's why I like what Madonna Garguah said. He said that I said many years ago, Liberia move forward will be through trusteeship to the motherland. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better than that, But it's a disconnect here. What we're seeing here, like you just talked about that. You want to start a PhD program, or you even got good elementary school to raise the children up the secondary or primary school there. Also, but you jumping on PhD just so they can say it started on you, they gave you glory. Because the acting president there was trying to do something to get an ambassador job to the United States, so I would do something to promote him, and you give him the job. So that's why he did that, just so they can make him ambassador. And look, one thing that shocked me as well is the foreign minister. I thought she come with a lot of foreign experience or work for the UN, all those things, knowing what to place people. You recall all these people. There are Liberians that have worked in the foreign service that have done exemplary work. One person I admire most all the time is a guy called Paul Tate. He's the foreign.
Paul Tate been around. Yeah, he's been around. Yeah.
This guy have worked seriously in the foreign service. You will not take this kind of veteran and appoint him to be ambassador. You're taking the old people there, you're putting in that will bring nothing. That how they can wake up in the morning from their bed to be able to walk to the office and things like that. These are the people you're appointing there, you're making ambassador only because they're either from Lofa or they are friends. That's pretty much what he's doing. Okay, he took this guy from the University of Liberia because he's from Lofa and sent him to be ambassador to the U.S. because that's what he wanted, so he would take him. The guy they removed from here, that man is a veteran diplomat. He worked in the Liberian Foreign Service for many, many years. But where will you put him? You sending people that are not even going to make a difference. So I mean, Robert, I don't know what's going to happen to the country. What's going to happen in the House? Unfortunately, Kofa will have to deal with a lot of stuff, but our people are not ready. And the president, who should be the head of the nation, have not made a single comment. But yet, still, you stood there and insulted George Weah all day. Oh, George Weah can talk. Oh, George Weah is this. Oh, George Weah dancing music. Oh, George Weah singing song. And yet, you cannot say nothing about what is happening in that country. I don't know who advising you. The Minister of State, Grishpe. I mean, they're all there for flow show, but they're not really doing what is expected by Liberian people.
Yeah, I mean, we add as though we have a shortage of brains in the country, and that if we change our approach to bringing new ideas on board, that it will somehow hurt us. Look at Louis Brown, and I have nothing against Louis Brown. My issues with him, I told him what my issues were when he appeared on his platform. But is Louis Brown the only one that we can appoint as at permanent member at the UN in New York? Is he the only one? What happens? What if we appointed someone else? What will happen to the country? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of smart people. Look, I've interacted with a lot of smart Liberians. But you know, one thing I've realized in that country, Dr. Peabody, and not just in Liberia, but good men and women are not generally, you know, a lot of good things happen to bad people. A lot of good things happen to bad characters. And in certain environments, bad characters excels in certain environment. And Liberia is that environment. Liberia is an environment where if you're not bad, then you're not going to succeed. This is the reason why we beat down on good people. This is the reason why we do everything possible to tint the character of decent human beings, people who have succeeded outside of government, people who have worked hard and have climbed the ladder, right, to get to where they are right now. Because we don't believe in hard work. We don't believe that with hard work, determination, the sky is the limit. We believe overnight hero. We believe overnight, a fortune. We believe in corruption. We believe in everything that is not good for our country. But the good people cannot waver. The good people cannot be deterred. We have to be committed to this change, because guess what? If we draw back, I hear a lot of people, and I don't blame them, say, you know what, Rob? I'll go to Liberia. I have my nice house. I open few businesses. I got my 401k. I got my different benefits coming from the US. I can travel any part of the world I want to travel. I'm not going to waste my time with Liberian people. I'm not going to get headache. And sometimes it makes you feel like that. But this is exactly what these guys want us to do. They want to frustrate us to the point where we just step back and just let them do whatever they want to do, right? Forever and forever and forever and forever. We can't let them do that. We have to stand up to them. We have to educate the people, and we have to be as noisy as possible. One last thing I want to say. If you got a big mouth and you want the right things to be done, you can't give what you don't have. You got to be able to position yourself where you are not making decisions on your belly. People cannot easily influence you for small dollars, $5,000 here, $2,000 here, and your eyes are already like that, and you're ready to compromise your principles. That's what's happening to people in our country. People are quick to compromise what they stand for because they're not thinking about their own principles. They're not thinking about the country. They're thinking about their belly. Okay? And so you got to position yourself where people cannot say this guy is afraid to speak up, because if he speaks, his contract will get canceled. Cancel the contract if you want. That's not going to stop my hustle, but I'm going to speak up. We don't have a lot of those people in our country, and it's sad. But that's the only country we have that are Peabody. So we have to be stand fast. We have to be determined, and we have to be on it. We have to be on it.
Thank you, Robert. Look, Robert, you said it rightly. The country, but why I believe to the young people themselves do not believe in themselves, because Liberia is just a country where the young people don't believe in their own gift, their own talent, their own work. You have a lot of educated, smart Liberians that went to school in other parts under alien leadership, that have scholarship under the very United Party government, and got educated in different professional fields, London, Europe, and everywhere. But yet still, you are still appointing people from the 40s and the 50s. You are still appointing them. Some of them got the degree in the 70s, the doctorate of the 60s, where some of these degrees, some of the areas, it's no more existing, but you still appointing them to lead government. You expect government to be successful, but this is it. But I think President Barker needs to come and address the nation and let the Liberian people know what's happening, because we have a partial shutdown of the government. Partial shutdown. The house is not working. They can't submit the budget. They're holding it back, and nothing's happening. So except they're going to violate the Constitution, which I believe they would do. They don't care. You know, they really don't care. And Liberia is being held hostage right now. And you, as the president of that country, should come up and talk to the Liberian people and let them know. We want to know what's happening. Our president last 9 months he's been in office, 11 months he's been in office. We want to know what happened. What have he done? What can you tell the Liberian people? You have not had one press conference. Okay? All you do was the bad mouth. Like you said, Robert, Liberians don't like good leaders. They would try to undermine them and bring them down. You see, at Jallah Collins, Mr. Collins, a very fine gentleman, very successful gentleman, you know, who have done so well, got everything, and believe he can change this country, you know. But Liberians don't like people like that. When you win the election, they say he.
And they have tried to. I was glad to hear from him. I think he issued a statement about.
Yeah, he issued a statement today. Yeah.
But they've tried their best to, discourage Cummings. When people say, "Well, I don't think Cummings is going to run again," I would tell Cummings if I ever had to advise him, I think you have to stay engaged. I mean, because it comes to a point where you feel like, why am I even wasting my time? This is not about me. I mean, this guy is a multi-millionaire. He lives a decent life in Liberia and anywhere else if he wanted to. So why am I even stressing myself for the same people who don't really care about themselves, right? Yeah. But I would tell Cummings and others, you got to stay on it. You got to stay engaged. Yeah. And if the president say it's not working right now, let Cummings go run for senator, right? Yeah. Let Cummings go run for senator, you know. But these people will discourage decent human beings, man.
They'll destroy you. Not only it'll try to destroy you. They go about. They say all kinds of things. And knowing our country being a very gullible culture, they run with things that are not even true. We saw a lot of politicians being destroyed like that because somebody said something other Liberian people follow. Oh, you got it, old man. He been powerful. He been in government for 40 years. He the only one know how to fix it. He can't even make one press conference about what happened in the country. That the man who was in power for 40 years, who know they want going on, who the only one can fix it, but he can't make one comment. Can't even have one press conference. The man who been in government for 40 years and know about government. Oh, he know everything about government. You are the more honest man in government. You can't have one press conference. Yeah,
and they said Joe, I couldn't speak to the people. They said Joe, I couldn't speak to the people. Yeah. Right? The puppet enjoy himself. Let the puppet enjoy. Look, I've never seen Joseph Boaga this fresh. Yeah. These days, when you see the puppet moving, he got his initial on his shirt. He got a special design. They put JMB right there, and he all over the place walking. I mean, that's let him have fun. I blame the people. But you know, we have election coming up. We got 5 more years or so to go for the next election. Are we going to stick with the same narrative? And I don't want any campaign to says that I don't want any campaigns that comes and says we must anything but Joseph Boaga, anything but Unity Party. No. Don't. I said the same thing. Don't tell me anything but CDC and George Weah, because I continue to believe that George Weah is still better than thousands of people out there. So don't tell me anything but George Weah. Identify a candidate. Let's look at the record. Let's look at the policy. Let's look at the agenda, and let's make an informed decision. So I hope we change the narrative come 2029. Don't come to me and say anything but Joseph Boaga. No, we can't continue to let people like that. Anything but this person, anything but that person. And it becomes about the person rather than the idea and the vision and the leadership. It becomes about one individual. We got to change that. But that's LIB for us, man. That's LIB.
All right, guys. Robert, man, thank you. It was a great show.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. I know it's late, but guys in studio, we are done. We'll continue with the politics tomorrow. We'll go into the full detail of all the happenings tomorrow. So, guys, take over from us, man. You have a good night. You have a good night.
Good night, guys. Diba, look forward to seeing you, man. Look forward to seeing you back. Yeah, please make sure Diba get to the studio next time, man.
Guys,
come on, guys.
Take over, guys. Where you at? Take over.
Good night.
All right, Robert. See you.
All right.
Okay.